Welcome back to the party, everybody. I am Lutch, aka TheIndianJesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you. And let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party. Guys, that is the best part. So make sure you're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an IndianJesus live party ever again. Let's also say thank you to TheIndianJesus.com, where you can get your very own The Indian Jesus official merch. Only at TheIndianJesus.com. All right, guys. All right. Oh, I am excited for tonight. So this actually is from a few days ago, like 4 days ago. But I didn't really hear a lot about it until yesterday, and I was like, ooh, we gonna use it. Shout out to Guam Tech in the building. We got John, salute. Hey, we got Unwanted Foe. Welcome to the party, brother. Been a long time. Very, very, very glad to see you. So, yes, the Chaya Rachik of Libs of TikTok yeah, indeed she is. Yeah, so she is, this is Libs of TikTok on the right here. On her shirt is Taylor Lorenz, the Washington Post journalist who cried about being doxxed. And then here we have that same Taylor Lorenz in 2024 wearing a mask outside. The same woman who doxed Libs of TikTok. If you don't remember that Libs of TikTok was originally an anonymous account, and she doxed it, and then goes on TV and cries about being doxed. Shout out to M169. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Without further ado, guys, let's dive right in. As always, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
Is that a public park or is that a private?
No, private.
Private. All right. Well, we'll try to keep it short.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
It.
Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh.
Already that way.
Struggles of LA, I swear. Okay. Well, now that we're going.
Ooh, actually, I almost forgot that I wanted to do this. Hold on. So I want to jump to the end because I really want to make sure that we all see the main point of what we're here to do, and then we'll go back, and there is plenty more. But so this is near the end.
Public life. From public life completely?
She's saying she wants to eradicate gender ideology from public life.
Yeah, the whole thing is built on a lie.
Well, you certainly have a gender yourself.
Gender ideology. No, I don't. I have a sex. Gender. There's no such thing as gender.
Okay.
I said gender is made up. There's no such thing
I
as
agree
gender.
that gender is a completely social construct.
No, it doesn't exist. It's
Right. That goes back to the what do we call it? The gender binary abolitionist movement. Let's go. No such thing as gender. We only deal in sex.
there are zero genders. I have a sex. I'm female.
There are zero genders.
Yeah.
So you want to live in sort of a post-gender world where everybody can kind of express themselves through personality however they like.
Well, that's what
She's just about to say it. I was gonna say it, but she's gonna say it.
it is now.
That's what it is now. They just add words to it.
But they're just calling it gender.
So,
But there's males and females.
Yep.
And then
So if
there's
they were to,
infinite.
I'm just kind of curious here, and I'm certainly not a gender scholar, so I'm not sure, maybe somebody sort of posed this question too, but if people...
So again, I'm not a gender scholar. You'll see this as we go back and watch through this whole thing. Taylor's taking this very, very typical stance of, well, the experts say this, and are you an expert? And the scientists say this, and la-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We're talking about Genderqueer, the book where they show graphic stuff, and you have to be a gender professional, whatever. Like, that's not what you need to be in order to say, I don't want my kids to see this.
Let's just say, you know what? Fine. We eliminate male, female, non-binary, whatever gender. We eliminate that.
Whoa.
Or
We don't eliminate male and female. We eliminate man and woman. And then you are either a man or a woman or an exception.
Identified by our sex.
Exactly.
Would you still be okay with people, wearing dresses if, they appear to be biologically male?
Yes, of course. Of course. The fact that you even ask this question it shows exactly how disconnected from the actual argument you are. You have your ideology, you have your narrative. But to think that, automatically you must think that nobody who has a penis can wear a dress. Like, come on.
Or, women shaving their head, things like that. Are you still okay with that as long as they're not calling themselves by a different name?
Don't sexualize kids. That's what I'm against.
But
See, I wish she would have been a little bit more condescending. Be like, of course, the way I just was. Like, obviously, yes, I don't care. Because remember, we have to think about the optics. This is on Taylor Lorenz's page. And if we look, we'll go through the comments in a little bit. But I completely understand, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I completely understand the attitude Libs TikTok has here. But you just had so many opportunities to really stick it to her and really show her own fans how ridiculous she is. And she's just being kind of defensive and shutting down the conversation. And again, I completely understand that state of mind. But in terms of the perception, I wish she would have gone a little bit harder.
By a different name?
Don't sexualize kids. That's what I'm against.
But I'm just saying, like, you want to live in a post-gender world where there's no gender, right? And anybody can just have the personality and express themselves however they want.
That's how it is now. These people who are calling themselves a different gender.
So just say yes. That's the frustrating part. It's like, this is why she's so worried about being defensive for good reason, as we'll see as we go back to see how underhanded Taylor is. But you can't let that shake you. You have to be strong on your principles, know what you believe, so that when it comes to somebody who's really good at putting you on your heels, you still know who you are, what you believe, and how to articulate it.
That's how it is now. These people who are calling themselves a different gender.
But I'm just saying, you're
not
right,
really
and your issue is with the language around that, right?
Yep.
So I'm saying, let's eliminate the language. All right, do you support people, adults? Let's just talk about adults for the sake of this discussion. Do you support those adults having bodily autonomy, dressing, acting, painting their nails or shaving their head or doing whatever they want to do to express themselves?
I don't care if a guy wants to paint his nails.
See, and again, that's a perfect opportunity to say, yes, I'm in favor of that. I am in favor of the liberty that you get to express your personality any way that you want. You need to be very clear, because again, people are already thinking you're a bigot. And so when you're like, yeah, I don't really care, it comes off as flippant.
So you don't care about...
Leave the kids out of it. Don't sexualize the kids. Don't confuse the kids.
So speaking of sexualization of kids, I think one group of young people that's constantly sexualized is young women. What are your thoughts, and why haven't you, I guess, come out more against some of the sort of sexualization of young women, especially in the right?
Yeah, so I want to talking about the mask, and you know that it's virtue signaling. She's outside. It's not even like they're indoors. They're outside. And I don't know if you can see, but on the table, this little blue thing is a box of them. A box of them. Your whole life is a performance.
Out more against some of the sort of sexualization of young women, especially in the right-wing media ecosystem. There's a focus on youth in women. There's a focus on sort of women under 25, women losing value with age. This is stuff,
That's biology, yes.
I'm a woman in the conservative movement. I never once felt sexualized.
Based.
You've never felt sexualized yourself, but I'm saying, why don't you speak out about sort of sexual abuse in the straight world, I guess?
And this, you can take this question as a bad faith question in any context, because the fact is, it is impossible to say anything about everything. You can't have an opinion on everything. And even if you do in your mind, there's only so much time, and things are changing at a rapid rate. So, why don't you talk about this? There's only so many hours in the day. I'm focusing on this. Why the fuck don't you talk about this?
So, you just changed topics.
No. I'm saying, like,
there you go. Call her out.
Against the sexualization of kids.
Yeah.
One group of children that's constantly sexualized is young women. 13-year-old girls, 14-year-old girls are constantly sexualized on the internet, often by conservatives.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Did I point that out? I think I pointed that out, but if I didn't, but definitely check out the shirt of when she was on TV crying about being doxxed right, I forget if it was right after or right before, she doxed this woman right here. Two different species indeed.
So I'm wondering, especially given, what some commentary has come from like people at the Daily Wire, for instance, right? They've made comments about young women losing value with age, which is kind of a pedophilic ideology.
Excuse me? So wanting a woman who's 25 versus 45 is pedophilic. Semantic obfuscation. This is what they do. The pedophilic is a word that has a meaning. Being attracted to 25-year-old adult women is not what that means. Semantic obfuscation. Shout out to Zippy the Strange, starting off hot with the 5 gifted memberships. Not 1, not 2, but 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, brother. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Shout out to Alan, Mockery, Nilsil, Daniel, and Inside of the Ages. Make sure you guys, if you are not already in the Discord, that you join the Discord and send me a DM so you get the permissions for all of the server. It is free to join, guys, but you have to be a member for the after party. We also got Dylan in the building. Welcome to the party. Yep, she is loving that mask. And just before you got here, this is a box of face masks. Welcome to the party. Okay, so it was a little bit before. So that makes it even worse because you're on TV crying about being doxxed and then you go and dox somebody. Come on.
Why not?
So yeah, let's hear that again.
Losing value with people at the Daily Wire, for instance, right? They've made comments about young women losing value with age, which is kind of a pedophilic ideology. Why not speak out on that?
I've never seen that. I have no evidence.
You've never seen young women getting sexualized?
I focus on kids.
And you've never seen young girls getting sexualized?
I've seen young girls getting sexualized. I'm referring to the Daily Wire thing. I can't answer for that.
But let's just talk about young girls. Why don't you speak out about that? Why don't you?
Shout out again, Zippy. Thank you so very, very much. Once again, I said it's creepy the way the left wants to infantilize women. Yep, that's exactly it. It's like, oh, it's so ridiculous. I don't have the words for how ridiculous that is. That is totally fine, man. Whatever you do is very, very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much. And again, the new sponsor of the stream. Unwanted Foe said it's pedophilic to talk about the value of people as they age into their 30s, 40s, and beyond. Apparently, that's what that word means to the left now. Semantic obfuscation.
The Daily Wire thing, I can't answer for that.
But let's just talk about young girls. Why don't you speak out about that? Why don't you speak out about sort of heteronormative cisgender men, traditional men, sexualizing young girls, young female girls?
I speak out.
I would just say, why don't you?
About the sexualization of kids.
But you don't speak out about sort of the sexualization of kids by straight people.
I don't discriminate on who's sexualizing the kids.
Based. Another thing to be to say is another iteration of the fact that no, I focus on this. There's plenty of people who are focusing on that, and this is what I focus on. That's totally fair.
But
if the kid's being sexualized.
Well, but there's only one group of kids that you're talking about, which is you're concerned about sort of people being sexualized by the LGBTQ community.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you, Taylor?
I'm saying a lot of straight older men.
Not necessarily the LGBTQ. I mean, if they're, I don't want straight teachers to be talking about their sexuality in schools either.
So you wouldn't be okay with a straight teacher, for instance, discussing their marriage?
I think it's weird.
It is weird. One of us said is Taylor. I like that. Taylor implying that all libs aren't straight, seeing as Libs of TikToks focuses on the libs. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's very clear that most of what Libs of TikTok is LGBT stuff. I mean, we could be honest about that, but that's perfectly fine. I focus on people who are sexualizing children, and it just so happens that the people who are more out about it and direct about it happen to be in the LGBT movement, or are using the cover of the sensitivities that we have as a country to the LGBT community to hide behind that and sexualize children. What do we say when the left wants it both ways? Schrodinger's feminism. There you go. Let's go. Yes, if you don't use our talking points, then you have no right to use your own talking points. What the fuck kind of argument is that? I do not know. Shout out to Nilsil. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party, and welcome to becoming a disciple. Make sure you join the Discord. It is free to join again, but we have the full server is only available to members. If one of the mods could drop the link to that, thank you so much.
With a straight teacher, for instance, discussing their marriage.
I think it's weird.
Uh-huh.
Why would someone discuss their marriage in the classroom?
Honestly, I don't know. You were a teacher. I feel like teachers sometimes do that, you know. I do think that there is a sexualization of children from straight couples. I mean, I know that I went shopping for a friend recently to find little baby onesies. And when you're looking for little boy baby onesies, a lot of them say, you know, where's my mommy's tits or whatever. You know, you see these kind of, I would say, sexual innuendo on babies' clothes.
I personally wouldn't buy that. I personally, that's a little weird. I'm okay with saying that. Okay, now you, Taylor, can you say that the genderqueer, this book is gay, the bluest eye, that those books are weird?
I've never seen you post about that. I've never seen you post about sort of sexualization from the straight community, I guess.
I don't discriminate against who's doing the sexualization. I guess, like, what are you defining as sexualization? But I've never said like, oh, look, here's porn in school and the librarian is not straight. No, I don't care who the librarian is. I don't care if they're straight or gay or trans or whatever they want to say they are.
Yeah, I just think it seems I guess I wonder why you don't focus on sort of like young girls.
And that's the other thing. It's like, if you have something to say, I think you should do this because of X, Y, Z, then say it. Well, I know, she's a little weird. Just say it. Hey, shout out to Virgil Kane all the way over from Manchester, England. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Guys, if you are over on Rumble, there is some kind of problem. I just dropped the link to the YouTube stream. Come on over. Welcome to the party, brother.
As a woman, I mean, were you ever sexualized as a young child? No. I find that interesting because I think all women kind of experience that, although it depends on your community.
So she asked the question, what about, I'm living my truth, my own experience? And like, actually, no, that doesn't fit, so I don't believe you.
I do think that there's a focus on women and age as well. And there's this notion that women lose value as they age. And
They do. They do. Not in terms of, not politically, not in terms of anything else except dating, which is absolutely a fact.
No, I hear that all the time in my comments from conservatives.
I've never once seen that. Actually.
You've never seen that?
No.
I feel like
I've never seen a conservative figure say that women lose value when they age.
Why?
Come on, come on.
Do you think there's such an obsession about women and ages then?
Women, I've never known there was an obsession. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Women and ages?
Yeah.
Do you guys believe her on that? That seems a little sus. It seems like she's being a little bit defensive. Again, remember, we're near the end of the interview. I want to highlight the really important part before we go back and look at all the BS that she lays on. So he said the straight community tends not to groom kids. Well, the thing, there's not really a straight community in that sense, and so there's nothing. There's no veneer to hide behind. The LGBT community is a thing that you can hide behind. And so, no truth here. And that's what they don't understand. It's not that we're saying LGBT equals groomer. What we're saying is that groomer equals somebody who is going after children. And the people who are going after children happen to be using the veneer that they are in the LGBT movement. Also, grooming and general mutilation are on par with bad taste in baby shirts. J-Lo. Yep, that's oof. And once I said men lose value as they age as well. Just saying. Not really. Not really. Only like after like 45, really. But if we're talking about 18 to 40, that's an upward trajectory for men. That's a definite downward trajectory for women. Just send that. Oh, Virgil. One of us are losing value only in the context of the dating market. Yeah, exactly.
There's an obsession. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Women and ages?
True.
Yeah. There is a notion, especially platformed by conservative media, that women lose value as they get older. You see this espoused constantly when people are talking about reproductive capabilities. Oh, her eggs
You're
are
saying
dried
when
up.
they promote like family values, like, oh, you should get married and have kids? Is that what you call sexualization?
Oops. And here's the thing, like, Libs of TikTok doesn't talk about that. So what is the point of this question? You're saying, well, other people think this thing. What do you think about what other people think? How about what I do? How about you talk to me about what I actually do?
No. I'm talking about more derogatory remarks made against women and their age. I bring it up because I think a lot of your fans seem to obsess about women and ages, and so
There we go again with another underhanded tactic that Chaya is one person. So the opinions of people who happen to like Libs of TikTok is completely out of her control. And especially because she's not adding commentary most of the time. She's just reposting what people say. She has absolutely no responsibility to how people view what other people are saying about themselves. Like, come on. Shout out to Zippy on the second account. Give him the like. Appreciate it. Once again, conservatives pretend to not hear what other conservatives say. Wokies pretend not to have any critical thinking skills and need professionals to make their decisions for you. Yeah, I mean, it undercuts Libs of TikTok so much to be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you haven't heard about the wall, you haven't heard about Andrew Tate, you haven't heard about any of that stuff. Come on. You have the winning position here. You have the right position. There's no need to try to win if you just confidently have the conversation. Just basic biology. Yep. Sounds like women are obsessed with female value.
It's misogyny at its core, and I never see you speak up about that. So
it's misogyny.
Just kind of curious about.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm wondering, like why you don't speak up about the sexualization of kids.
Based. That's what
I don't think it's a problem. I don't.
Oh, hell no.
I just misheard that, right? There's no way she just said that.
Speak up about the sexualization of kids.
I don't think it's a problem.
What?
I don't think it's a problem? You don't think it's a problem to sexualize children? As Context said, two different species.
I don't see as much. If I saw an example of a child being sexualized, of course I have a problem with
example.
I will.
If I saw an example, you have to be willfully ignorant at this point to not know what they're talking about. Zippy said women are the moist misogynist. Dylan said, "Oh, of course Taylor doesn't believe it's a problem." Yeah, that's it. It's and then follows it up. Well, if I saw something, well, were you looking particularly at the account belonging to the woman across the table from you? Because you can find it pretty easily. You must want to not see it.
Actually, I will say.
So do you think we should give kids porn in school? The images of like gay sex?
See, again, child, why are you leave the gay out of it? Leave the gay out of it. We don't want straight sex in school. We don't want playboys or hustlers either. So again, by framing it as you want gay sex in schools, then you give her the opportunity to be yes, well, we have to be whatever for the gay kids and all that. What you should be saying is you don't you want kids to have porn in schools. That is the question you need to be asking, because that is the issue.
Do you think we should give kids porn in school? The images of like gay sex?
See, and she said it, and she shifted back. I don't know why she did that.
I went to public school, and in public school, at least when I was growing up, we were absolutely given literature, explaining sex, educating people.
It had pictures.
And was it porn? Shout out to Liberty Plus TV. Welcome to the party. So we're seeing this interview about how dishonest and hypocritical Taylor is. Indeed. And we're going to see, I jumped to the end to get, the meat of it, because I want to make sure we get to it. And then we're going to go back and see just exactly how on point Liberty Plus is here. Just to the left, live in a bubble. Yep. I'm said, playing devil's advocate. I think she's saying, I don't think there's a problem of people sexualizing kids in general. Not that she's okay with sexualizing kids. All right. That does make sense. That does make sense. But again, it's because you're not looking. So I'll take that. I'll take that. But you're still stupid because you should know that it is indeed a problem.
Pictures of like anal sex.
Oh, absolutely. And it actually talked about.
Stop the cap. They showed pictures of anal sex in your sex education. No, the fuck they did not.
Condom use.
What grade?
God, I mean, I don't remember, but certainly.
You don't remember. You don't remember what age you had. You were introduced to anal sex. You don't remember how old when you were introduced to the idea of a man inserting his penis in the hole where you shit. That's just lost your memory.
Middle school. I think that's when we had sex ed.
So you think like books like Gender Queer, This Book is Gay, we should give that to kids in school?
I have not read those books. So
I have not read those books. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? If you haven't read the books, how is it that you can have any position? Now, I'm not pulling a Joyanne Reid here with Mom's Liberty and say, so what's the author's name? And the third page, what is the fifth vowel? You didn't even read the book. Exactly. Virgin's an old man. And he remembers exactly. And I think we all, I think we all would, especially if it was in school. But I didn't even read it.
Do you think like books like Gender Queer, This Book is Gay, we should give that to kids in school?
I have not read those books. So I don't know. But I do think that it's important to educate kids about sexuality. If nothing.
We all agree, Taylor. So maybe take a look at the books that people are talking about, and maybe you'll understand why you're so confused.
Else, because, you know, I have spoken to women that were abused sexually when they were young, very young. And one thing that they've told me is that they wish that they had the language to talk about it, and they weren't educated. They grew up in I only know two that I've spoken to about this, but they've grown up in sort of societies where they weren't very educated about sex ed. They didn't receive sex ed in class. They went to a Catholic school or other sorts of schooling. And
so give them sex ed, just not gender queer, and This Book is Gay. That's the end of the conversation. Like, I don't understand how you could be a journalist and yeah, Dylan's right. It's not about common sense. It's about reviving due diligence. Taylor needs to go back to school. I disagree. I think this schooling is exactly what turned her into what she is now. I think school is exactly what turned her into what she is now. Thinking that you don't have to read a book to understand that people who don't want to show that book to children are automatically bad. That's schooling. Somebody else, a professor said so.
Educated about sex ed. They didn't receive sex ed in class. They went to a Catholic school or other sorts of schooling. And so I do think it's really important for kids to understand sex because, as we all know, a lot of teenagers can be sexually active. And I think sex education is important to promote, you know, healthy attitudes, healthy understandings of.
I agree. That's why in 2016, I went to the Reason Rally, where the main focus was making sure that all throughout the country we had comprehensive sex education. Little did I know that, you know, it was kind of an atheist thing. Little did I know where that was leading. But at the time in 2016, it really was legitimately about making sure that abstinence only wasn't what the sex education was, that it was comprehensive and biological. But now it's gone way too far in the other direction.
Important to promote, you know, healthy attitudes, healthy understandings of sex. I mean, these are human bodies. You can't just expect to send kids off at 18 with absolutely no sex ed and then think that they can function in the world.
And again, the false dichotomy of either we have to show them how to use lube on a dildo on a strap-on, or they have absolutely no sex ed. That is the level that these people think that's the level these people think at. There's A or B, good or bad. That's all they can see. Which says, what do children really need to know about sex? How it works and what it's for. That's it. One of us said she's arguing against the sex ed in private religious schools, not in public schools. There's no reason to F up the sex ed in public schools like this. Absolutely. Well, there is a reason. There absolutely is a reason. If you want to corrupt society and end up in a place where children can consent to having sex with adults. That's the reason. Bye, Morty. That's the reason. It says, give them names and tell them how a baby a baby is made and move on. Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's other things about, learning about diseases, learning about pressure, learning about, especially for women, learning about how to set boundaries, to, read signals and all of that kind of stuff. I think that's important. Consent is a very important conversation, but that's not kink education. Let's see, that I graduated in 87. We didn't need to be shown porn to understand how our bodies work. We also knew enough to be able to report sexual assault. Yeah. And I mean, again, to play devil's advocate on that, I will give credence to the idea that, let's say, I don't know, before the 90s or whenever it was, that, the notion of reporting sexual assault was, not the same. Wait, coming up here? Come on. I'm in the middle of a sentence. Let's go. Come on. He's staring at me. You coming up or not? Let's go. He goes over there. So I definitely think there is something to that where, women are afraid to come forward, but certainly after Me Too and Believe All Women. Hey, shout out and welcome back to Unwanted Foe. He said, Morty, it's communion time with the $5 super chat. Of course, every donation comes with a treat for my co-host, Morty. Thank you so much. And of course, that makes you the new co-sponsor of the stream. Thank you very, very much, brother.
Off at 18 with absolutely no sex ed and then think that they can function in the world.
So we should give kids like pictures of gay sex in middle school and actually elementary school, some of them.
I guess I'm wondering what you consider that. I think.
Do you want to see a picture?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, are you talking about the ones that you've posted on your Twitter account? Yeah. I guess those don't look like what I received when I did sex ed, but I think sex ed.
Right. They don't look like what you received when you had sex ed. Thus, the issue that we are discussing. So maybe it's relevant to actually go look at those pictures.
Is important because it actually helps.
So you didn't have those types of things when you were in school?
Oh no, we had sex ed.
I'm saying the images I posted on my Twitter.
Did you, when you had sex ed in school, did you not get books with graphic
with
imagery?
Pictures of gay sex?
I remember, I don't remember how old you are, but
I thought you said absolutely. Before, when she asked you if you were taught about anal sex in school, you said yes, absolutely. You just couldn't remember when. Now, I don't remember.
I grew up in the 90s when HIV and AIDS was a big thing, and we certainly learned about gay sex in school.
So those pictures I posted on my Twitter, you had graphics like that?
I actually don't know. I don't remember, to be honest. But I do think that it's really important.
That's a no.
But knowing those pictures, you seem to know very well what those pictures are. Do you think that?
I don't. I've seen
you kept referencing it.
Well, I've seen you post things, but I don't
pull it up.
How is that not the first thing that we're talking about? Like, okay, let's take 5 individual books. Let's take 5 individual pages from a book. Let's take 5 pages from 5 different books, and let's talk about these specific things. Just like with Moms of Liberty, what's her name? Tiffany Justice. Shout out to Tiffany Justice when she was on with Joanne Reed, and she was saying, what is the context? She didn't follow through with it, but what is the context where it is appropriate to teach a child about using a strap-on? Give me that appropriate context, because I can't think of it.
But I think, I guess I feel...
Because we need to put this into context.
Yup.
Yeah.
Taylor got quiet.
Well, we won't know the context, of course, because we don't know the context of how those things are being taught.
We do, though. You don't know because you aren't reading and aren't paying attention. We are very familiar with it. That's why we're so upset about it. Yeah, I'm on 69, the days of the after school special. We live in a very, very different time. Well, so dishonesty is Taylor's bread and butter in this conversation. It is her native tongue. Her native tongue. It's disgusting.
Oh, so we could give kids like pictures of gay sex as long as it's in the proper context?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's up to the educator to determine, right? I don't know. I guess I'm kind of curious, Kaya, why you sort of focus so much about the LGBT. You keep mentioning gay sex, but you don't mention straight sex. Why is there such...
I told you. That's just a thread for her to pull on. So she is going to actually show the pictures. So I obviously can't put that on.
To focus on the LGBTQ world.
Oh, I don't want pictures of sex in school. Any pictures.
So you don't think children should receive any sort of sexual education, straight or gay?
I said I don't want pictures of sex in school.
But you think that they should receive picture-free sex education?
No, I think we discussed this earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Seabass. Welcome to the party. So I took my son out of high school 3 years ago, and he reads the Bible for education. I would add some other books to the curriculum, but to each their own. One of us, we don't know the context of their being taught. Isn't it allegedly sex education? That's a pretty obvious context. Yeah, that's precisely what she's arguing for. She's arguing for the context, but she said, well, we don't know the context. Speaking out of both sides of your mouth.
I'm curious kind of how you're thinking, when you think about your
fucking mask,
the way that you put out content and the way that you think about growing your media empire.
Here,
so notice how she's still talking. She's still like, growing your media empire.
A blowjob.
And then she shows the picture.
What I don't.
And okay, so here, okay, I'm gonna.
And the way that you think about growing your media empire.
Here, this is a blowjob.
Goes to the picture. Pause. Oh, yikes! Ooh.
I don't know what book this is from.
Genderqueer.
Okay.
So should this...
Wait, I want to get that.
I don't know what book this is from.
Genderqueer.
Okay.
You seem surprised, appalled.
So should this picture of a blowjob?
Jesus, I've never personally seen this, but like Jesus Christ, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and put this in the free chat of Discord. So if you are not a member, it is free to join. You will have access to the picture that I am blocking on the screen right now, and it is gross.
I'll be in elementary schools.
I've never seen a book like that in elementary schools, but I have no idea.
It has been. Okay. I posted about it, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about...
So should it be in
elementary
schools?
I have no idea the context. I have no idea.
No. That's the context. This picture, should this picture be in elementary schools? Yes or no?
Context, is it okay if it would be in
I have absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I would not...
Then why are you here? What is it that you are hoping to accomplish? I don't understand the purpose of your day, Taylor. You didn't know about any of this. Now she's educated you. Now she's asking you about the new information that you've learned, and you have nothing to say. What are you doing here?
Is it okay if it would be?
I have absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I would not. I don't know, Kaya, because I haven't seen the rest of that book. I don't know what's in there. I don't know.
What else could be in that book? Go in Discord and look. It's a little boy sucking off a dude in 2 different panels. What does it say? I can't read what it says, but it's exactly that. What else could be in the book that would make that okay? Nothing.
But there is a context that it would be okay to give kids pictures like that of gay sex. Anal sex in elementary school?
I guess sex pictures as well. I don't know because you know who I would defer to on that, just because neither of us are sex educators. I would defer that question to a qualified professional.
Oh, we got to go back to the professionals. We need a professional to know whether we want to show dick sucking to toddlers.
What? Stupid.
Taylor did not know. Okay, Jon Snow, you know nothing. Now hush and go away. Yeah, right. And oh my God. Yeah, I bet it is. Like, I don't understand how you can operate. And I guarantee you, she makes 6 figures for writing bullshit about shit that she has not even looked at before. The appeal to authority is completely off the charts. This lady says she's a journalist. That's the state of media. But we're supposed to trust the institutions, right? We're conspiracy theorists, right? Come on. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. That is the only obvious answer. But because she didn't understand how extreme it was, and she thought she was just defending, a vanilla sex education, she was like, well, why are you such a problem with this? Now that she sees, whoops. So this is back when I was 16 years old, getting a hold of porn was a never-ending challenge. Yeah, luckily I had to deal with dial-up, but it was right there. Dylan says the legion of memers needs to sift through this video. There's several possible meme formats available in this section alone. I'm ready to see it. Let's see it. Memers, get to it.
Because neither of us are sex educators, I would defer that question to a qualified professional, a sex educator, and say, hey, you're an expert. You've treated tons, you've educated tons of people. You're a full-time sex educator. You've really studied this. What are the appropriate boundaries? I don't think that
But here's the thing, Taylor. It's not a matter of profession. It's not a matter of a fact. It is a personal choice. So it's not up to the experts. It's up to the parents who are the experts on what they want their children to see. That is what you're not understanding. And that is why you think anybody who thinks differently than you is a bigot, because you don't understand. You don't know. Shout out to Strong Mermaid. Welcome to the party. Yeah, that dial-up. I mean, I remember I had a picture of Alicia Silverstone. I was sitting there watching the Napster download. It took maybe like 20 minutes to get that picture. And then, when you open it up and it loads real slow. Ooh, Alicia Silverstone in her heyday. Welcome to the party, Strong Mermaid. Zippy the Strange says, so grooming's okay. An educator said so. Leftist logic right there. So Taylor's flipping so often in this video, she can open up a pancake restaurant. And again, because all she had to do was Google the pictures. All she had to do was actually look at Libs of TikTok's account before she had this conversation. Remember, this is on her channel. This isn't some gotcha. This isn't some gotcha from Libs of TikTok. She put this out. And that's why I want to look at the comments when we're done with this, because it's insane. Liberty Plus TV said, how do you call someone who shows porn to children a professional groomer? Yeah, I guess so. That's all they're good for, right? Yeah, the dial-up days. Oh man. All right.
People, you're a full-time sex educator. You've really studied this. What are the appropriate boundaries? I don't think that myself as a journalist or a media personality, I don't think I'm the right one to make that decision.
At least we agree on that. Yeah, I'm not a bridge engineer.
Stupid.
She filmed, edited, and posted the video. Why? Why did and let me hold my tongue, because you guys are gonna get really, really, really upset when we go to the comments.
And I guess I'm wondering why.
I have seen sex educators say that they want these books in schools.
Yep.
So then you're okay with it?
I think I would want to talk to the sex educator and rely on whatever the sex.
Why? They're the expert. What do you have? You're just some journalist. What would that conversation be? Play that conversation out. You're the expert, the sex educator expert. So if they say yes, what conversation is there to be had?
Sex educators say. Okay. I'm wondering why you feel like you're qualified to be a sex educator when you have no background in that.
I don't want to be a sex educator. I just don't want to give kids porn in school.
Pretty simple. I'm not a sex educator. I just don't want to give kids porn in school.
How dare you?
You see why I skipped to the end here?
When you have no background in that.
I don't want to be a sex educator. I just don't want to give kids porn in school.
Mm-hmm. I totally understand. Tell me a little.
I'm going to star this on 169, and you are going to be very disappointed when I come back to it.
A little bit more about sort of, just to change topic. About
we want to change topics for sure.
World. You put out a lot. You've got a whole staff now. How do you see your business growing, and what areas would you like to expand into?
I'm not going to get into my business strategy.
Do you see yourself? I've noticed that you've been doing more video content. Are you leading harder into Rumble?
I like doing video content.
Like, see, and then it's just so fake. Like, your entire, whatever you thought this interview was going to be, just exploded in your face. And so now you got to be a professional. So what about the future? So I'm going to see if I don't think there's anything much left at the end, and then we'll go back to see how we got here, M. Night Shyamalan style.
Do you have a partnership with Rumble?
No.
Would you?
Maybe.
What are your thoughts on sort of the way that Twitter has evolved?
I love Twitter. It's the best. I love Elon. Elon rocks.
Have you spoken to Elon?
Saved free speech. Not like on the phone.
Have you talked? Would you meet with him?
Yeah.
She's just scrambling.
What's been your kind of criticism of Elon, because you're outspoken against Elon?
I'm a huge supporter of free speech and free expression.
Stop the gap.
And I haven't liked the way that Elon has kind of arbitrarily banned journalists.
Projection. What is there to say?
I think that's a little concerning.
Who did he ban?
Oh, many. I mean, he banned, I think he banned Tyler Brown, the researcher. He banned, obviously, myself, Drew Harwell, other journalists.
So how do you feel about all the conservatives that were being banned left and right when Jack Dorsey had Twitter?
I'm of the personal opinion, and I've said this on Twitter and many times, that, look, it's up to every private platform to set their own community guidelines.
But free speech is, oh my God. Yep.
I am not a huge believer in permanent bans. And I've always said that. And I defend that in the sense that these platforms evolve and people's usage of them evolve.
All right. So that was mainly, the main thing. So let's go all the way back and see how this started. And what I want you to think of, if you guys remember, I can't play it because the last time I did, I got copyright claimed. I don't know if this is going to be copyright claimed, but when Jordan Peterson was on the BBC with Kathy Newman, and he would say something, and then after everything he said, so what you're saying is, and straw man his position. No, that's not what I said at all. And over and over and over and over and over. I want you to keep that in mind, and I want you to see why the Libs of TikTok maybe isn't so forthcoming in the conversation. Is a little bit closed off.
Do you know what? Is that a public part or is that a private?
No, private.
Private. All right. Well, we'll try to keep it short.
Okay.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh, the struggles of LA. I swear.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that we're going. So thank you so much for meeting. First of all, I saw Seth Dillon today saying that you guys are no longer affiliated. What happened with there? I know that he invested in you early, was a huge supporter
Seth Dillon is the Babylon Bee guy.
of you. What happened to that relationship?
Just parted ways.
For what reason?
Personal reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know?
Yeah.
Totally amicable. I love Seth. He's
Yeah.
a great mentor.
So why wouldn't you want him involved, or why isn't he involved in the business anymore?
Just personal reasons. I'm not going to get into it.
Oh, okay. When
I'm not surprised, Dylan.
did that sort of break off?
Recently.
So how many staffers? Tell me a little bit more about your organization.
We are a small team, just a couple people.
And it's all distributed?
It's what?
It's all distributed, as in it's all remote, pretty much? Or do you guys have
yeah.
an office space?
It's remote, yeah.
And again, it's like, this is how y'all both know what you are here for. Y'all both know what you're here for.
Oh, so how's South doing? Oh, and it's like remote work, or like you have a business, or like you have an office?
So when did you start, I guess? What got you into all this? I've always wanted to ask you. I wrote about sort of the history of your Twitter account, but how did you get
And Doxter.
involved in politics?
If you watch any of my interviews, I talk about this all the time.
Ooh, nice little dig. Well, if you did any, journalism.
But just, COVID radicalized me.
Yeah.
As did many.
And they were like forcing us to wear masks and not letting us leave our homes. And, not letting us work and people losing their jobs. And then people now forcing a vaccine, an experimental vaccine, people dying from the vaccine.
How did that get you interested in LGBTQ issues?
It got me interested
Okay. Hey, that's a good question. That's a good question.
in politics. And then once I was interested in politics,
Y'all just forced it in everybody's faces all the time, so I didn't really have a fucking choice now, did I?
I stumbled upon this this whole movement, and I was absolutely appalled by what I was seeing.
Appalled by what?
Now remember, we went to the end and we came back. So throughout this whole thing, Taylor has not yet seen the pictures that you can see right now in Discord for free, but she has not seen the pictures that Chaya shows her at the end. So the confidence, the arrogance, dare I say, she has comes from not knowing that what she's talking about.
The radicalization of it, the way that they come after our most innocent and vulnerable population, or kids.
I'm gonna try to get a better shot, but this is her across the table. Taylor Lorenz crying. Based.
The way that it makes there's nothing logical about it.
Nope.
There's nothing logical about chopping off kids' body parts. There's nothing logical about giving kids porn in school. There's two sexes and that's it. So, anything out of that, it's just based on lies and nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so you agree, Taylor. So you said yeah, so you agree. Okay, got it.
I know you grew up in a sort of a more conservative community. Did you know any LGBTQ people growing up? What was your exposure to that community just in life?
No, because so you see, when I was growing up, this was before people like you were shoving this down children's throats. So no, I didn't really have much of an experience with it.
Prior to sort of understanding the world through politics.
I never really paid attention to it.
So you didn't have any LGBTQ friends or anything,
No.
family members?
No.
So your first exposure to the LGBTQ world was through basically learning about it through the media ecosystem?
Through themselves, actually. They would say exactly what their intentions are, what their whole movement is about.
Mm-hmm. And if you remember, again, this was an anonymous account that was not saying anything, was not adding any commentary, was not even captioning anything, just taking videos from TikTok and reposting them on Twitter. That is it. She was not adding anything. These are in their own voices.
So I learned about it through watching their own videos.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What sort of videos were you watching? I mean, are you just
All
talking
the
about
ones-
the
Again, why don't you look at Libs of TikTok? Then you'll know. #journalism.
TikToks that you share and stuff?
And tons more on TikTok. It's all over TikTok.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very easy to find.
Very
Yeah.
easy to find,
I'm
unless you're a journalist.
curious, I feel like there's been, especially on, my colleagues have done great reporting on sort of like this rift on Twitter. I know that you have a very conservative fan base, and in your comments sometimes you'll see a lot of commentary about sort of the great replacement theory. What are your thoughts on that?
What are your thoughts on the comments on your post telling me to kill myself?
Horrible.
Ooh.
Yeah, horrible.
Okay,
Obviously,
fair. So that's good. That's good that she's gonna, that Chai's gonna turn that around and be like, well, I can't control what other people say. And obviously, death threats coming my way are a lot more extreme than people, giving their opinions on trans stuff. Good question. A good turnaround, but fair enough. Taylor does answer. So
The comments on your post telling me to kill myself.
horrible. Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
Obviously against that. Yeah.
So will you come out and condemn that publicly?
Oh, I would condemn it anytime.
how about right now, though?
I'm against murdering anyone, of course.
So you're against death threats against me?
I'm a big, as somebody that's dealt with a lot of online harassment, I don't defend threatening to murder.
Hey, shout out to Stephanie Miller. Welcome to the party. Driving, you stay safe behind the wheel. Very, very, very glad you are here.
For anyone. But I guess I'm curious,
Because a lot of times it comes after an attack in the media, like someone like you or another journalist.
so are you saying that, like,
Headshot.
if somebody posts something and then attacks follow, that person should answer for those attacks?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That sounds kind of, Taylor, like what you were saying.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying that people like you tell me that all the time. So I'm just asking if you think the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think I have said that here, but I think it's
Again, if you haven't noticed, there is an entire box for a 53-minute conversation, an entire box of face masks. Guys, stay safe. It's cool if you're just listening. Don't be texting and driving. I do it all the time, but not all of the time. But just let's be safe. Let's be safe.
I think
The
it's
last
kind of
thing I need
interesting,
is somebody
guess,
dying
in the conservative
while I'm
movement. There's this ideology around sort of white nationalism.
Cops show up and it's like, what was on this phone? Oh, the Indian Jesus! Oh my God, he's getting people to drive and not pay attention, and we gotta cancel him. Just listen. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't think it's interesting, I guess, in the conservative movement, there's this ideology around sort of white nationalism. Which
Is there no? I mean, maybe, kinda, on the fringes, but that unless she has said anything about that, then why are we talking about it?
is obviously kind of a hardline ideology that's generally been pretty critical of Jewish communities. And I'm wondering, as a Jewish woman, how do you feel about sort of aligning yourself with those people when it
As a Jew, shouldn't you hate these people because you're a Jew and they are a different type of people? So you should hate them, right?
counts. You see this sort of rhetoric in your replies, and I only bring it up. I'm not saying that you necessarily endorse that rhetoric. I would imagine that you don't. But how do you?
Then shut up. Then shut up. Then move on. Yeah, exactly. I want to vote pro-America equals white nationalism to the woke. It's pathetic.
Kind of think about those nuances when you're thinking about kind of the audience that you're building.
I would just be like, I don't. I'm just showing what y'all are doing. That's it. I don't think about anything else but, oh, I don't like this, and I don't know that everybody knows about it, so I'm going to show them. That's it. Whatever happens after that is on you.
Some of your audience says we should chop off kids' body parts. What do you think about that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what she's talking about. Stop the cap.
Like a girl says she wants to be a boy, so she chops off her breasts.
I'm a big, I believe in personal liberty and bodily autonomy personally.
So kids should be able to cut off their breasts if they think that they're boys.
I mean, I believe in gender ideology. I guess
I should have stopped it before when she said she believes in. Oh, what was it?
Off their breasts if they...
I believe in personal liberty and bodily autonomy.
Did you believe in bodily autonomy with the vaccine? Of course not. It's only when it's convenient for you.
So kids should be able to cut off their breasts.
And what about the bodily autonomy of an unborn child? Don't think they have rights?
That they're boys.
I mean, I believe in gender ideology. I guess I personally, my feeling is that I believe in personal liberty. I grew up in a town where a lot of people, for their middle school graduation, women got nose jobs. I knew somebody that got a boob job at age 14. And I guess I struggle to kind of understand.
Wait, okay. So what is... You should stop there. Karen Lorenz. You should stop there. That's a great point to discuss. Let's take it out of the very high stakes, these books, trans stuff, kids sexualized body part. Let's take it out of that. Let's take it out of there. Not the same thing. Exactly. Let's take it out of there and talk about something less extreme that has the same principle. And so you're talking about kids who got, as 18-year-olds or about to be 18-year-olds, nose jobs for graduation. How do we feel about that? Is that a good thing? Would we be in favor of promoting that? Or might Chaya similarly think, while I do believe in liberty, I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe you should do a little journalism and figure the fuck out. So be said, without the mother, the unborn is dead anyway. You cannot save everyone. Trying is why the West has gone to hell. It's a little too black pill for me. I'm not there yet, but I see where you're coming from. She said herself she believes in gender ideology. Yep. There you go. Shout out to Alice in Chains.
At age 14. And I guess I struggle to kind of understand the criticism when there's certainly no criticism of that sort of thing, right?
But did you ask about that? Like I said, maybe there would be criticism. You're just assuming and just saying things.
Right, but then there's criticism of this other sort of gender affirming, stuff. So
you're comparing a boy being allowed to chop off his penis to a teenage girl getting a nose job?
Well, just to be extra clear, I don't believe that 13-year-olds are able to make those sort of medical decisions.
Okay, so then we agree.
Minors are, yeah.
Oh, really? And where?
Yeah. Children's National Hospital in D.C. gives 16-year-olds hysterectomies.
Oh, 16-year-olds.
They gave me that. They told me that.
Oh, 60. Oh, it's 16-year-olds. It's not 4. It's 16-year-olds. Oh, that's totally kosher. And then, of course, the thing that they always ignore is that even if it's not right now, the fact is you are pushing for this. We were just the last show. We were with Moms of Liberty. They were talking about having their own version of Planned Parenthood in schools, where you can get Plan B. You can get all of this stuff without ever telling the parents. So what if they have a penis nose? Hey, I think that's a comment of the night. Comment of the night so far to Dylan. Brilliant point. And we see how ridiculous of a question this is because of how ridiculous a line of logic this is. It's okay to chop off a penis. It's not okay to chop off a nose. So if they have a penis for a nose, then it's okay, right? That's your logic. That's what you said. And the obfuscation truly pisses me off. Affirming is the direct opposite of what's going on. Yep. Well, then I mean that's not true. They're affirming the delusion. They're absolutely affirming the delusion. 7 Miller says, but a 16-year-old has to get parental permission for a tattoo. Yup. But not to chop the dick off or tits off or whatever.
Directly, they said 16 girls and younger. That's what they said.
And younger. So, okay, Seabass said, I'd rather have a nose for a penis than a penis for a nose. Ooh, all right. So, goal or game over? Goal, if you would rather have a nose for a penis, and game over if you would rather have a penis for a nose. Goal, if you would rather have a nose for a penis, and game over if you would rather have a penis for a nose. Let me know.
16-year-olds.
They gave me that. They told me that directly. They said 16 girls and younger. That's what they said. So hysterectomies. There are definitely minors. I know for sure as young as 12 who are getting double mastectomies. They definitely allow vaginoplasties for minors.
Is that when they make a vagina? Right? That's not. That's what we're talking about, right? Vaginoplasty. I don't want the call. I just want to know what the fuck it is. Yeah. Okay. So that's the creation of the vagina. All right. So one person, Guantex said he'd rather have a nose for a penis. That's a little ass dick, but you know, because if you had a penis for nose, everyone could tell when you're lying. Good one. Oh man. So nobody else? Guamtex the only one? All right.
They definitely allow vaginoplasties for minors and phalloplasties. I'm not aware of a specific case of a minor, but they allow 18-year-olds.
Yeah, which has, you know,
okay,
18-year-olds, you're an adult. But let's just get back to the great replacement stuff, because I'm curious, what are your thoughts on that?
Why? She doesn't talk about the great replacement at all. Why is this relevant to her?
Whole ideology.
I mean, how many? There were times that there were some months over the past 3 years that there were more illegals coming into our border than children being born in the U.S. Is that not? Does that not look like they're trying to replace us?
I guess sort of the
I mean, you know, it's the great replacement theory. They're replacing people. What's your thoughts on this? Is it not replacement? Well, yeah, I guess. How do I get that job? How do I get that job? Being so stupid and getting so much fucking money. I don't get it. Lord Plus TV said politicians and activists openly talk about how they need to replace an aging population. Yep. I mean, and that's not even, you know, that's not even the quote unquote nefarious part of it. That's just like people die. I would wear a mask if I had a penis for a nose. That's the only way. Smart guy. They would definitely call you a libtard, but hey, better than showing your penis nose. If you're new here, guys, remember we do use the goal and game over emojis for those emojis. For goal is good and game over is bad. If I say something you like, goal it up. If you say something I don't like, if I say something you don't like, game over. And for situations like a penis on for a nose or a nose for a penis, goal and game over. John said a nose for a penis is called a toadstool. There you go. We posted maybe Taylor has a penis for a nose, and that's why she's wearing a mask. Now that is journalism. That is journalism.
A melting pot, isn't that sort of what America was founded
No,
on?
but they're actually bringing in more people than are actually being born.
So I guess it sounds like you sort of do ascribe to this theory of the Great Replacement. How
Yup.
does that make
I just
you
look at the
feel?
facts and the numbers.
Well, so I
Thanks.
mean, just let's give a corollary, right? A lot of Jewish people fled, Europe, came over.
I know. That's what it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I am so much smarter. I am so much better than she is in every single way. Every single way. Except maybe being sexually attractive to men. Straight men. Because I'm cute as fuck. Other than that, I am better. I can do anything better than her. Besides, be attracted to a straight man and have a child. But I'm stuck here in my living room, and she's out in a mask getting money for this bullshit. So you said a melting pot means they are taught to be trained to be Americans. Assimilation was always part of the deal. All right.
I mean, just let's give a corollary, right? A lot of Jewish people fled, Europe, came over here also as immigrants.
Oh, so now we're talking about the Holocaust.
And there's a lot of criticism towards Jewish people in those movements, in those far-right movements. So I'm just wondering, as a Jewish woman, sort of how you feel about that and your role in cultivating this fan base that might think of you as a minority or an outsider.
She is a minority by being Jewish. The fact that your brain and all the people on your side of this cultural, whatever you want to call it, can't see anything but race or identity or immutable characteristics. The reason you would have that question is because you don't understand that you're the one who was infected with this perspective. So I guess projection. Must announce that I was talking you up in Mike Harlow chat, letting the ladies know you're single. Hey, there you go. At 169, wing woman. There we go. That's what I need. Let's see, yes, I prefer women that don't talk so much. And yes, I am single. Why do you ask? Oh, I would. She would never do that, but that would bring me so much joy. So much joy.
That might think of you as a minority or an outsider.
Not all cultures are equal.
Based. Not all cultures are equal. American culture is better. It is better. That's why they're coming here. And like John's saying, if it's not a replacement, what is it? What do you call what is happening if not a replacement? I'm not white. I don't know if you can adjust your television set. I'm not white. So it's clearly not about me personally wanting more white people and all that. No, it's about Americans. And you don't understand that, Taylor, and everybody on the left, because you don't place any value in what it means to be American or patriotic. So these kinds of debates or chats will become the new pay-per-view fights. Mark my words. Hey, if that would be amazing for me. That would be amazing for me.
As a minority or an outsider.
Not all cultures are equal. Yeah.
So I know you have a lot of concerns.
I wish you would have said. I wish Chaya would have said. Do you agree?
About educational materials and books, library books and things, especially.
They're importing people who want to destroy America.
Yup.
And who come here and do not stand for what America stands for.
Nope.
So, and I think, and we see it, there's time after time after time after time. They come in, they're destroying our cities, they bring crime with them, and they are bringing them in to replace us. And I think people from various countries, they're all different.
So
I think that's such a great question, John. If it's not a replacement, what is it?
Just back to the sort of education stuff, I know that you're interested in removing a bunch of books from libraries that you consider inappropriate. I was just wondering, out of all the books that you've sort of tried to get removed, how many have you read?
I've read a couple of them.
This bitch! This fucking bitch! Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, I am so glad that we watched the end before this. So of all these books, how many have you read? Bitch, more than you! More than you! Even if it was one page. The audacity. The audacity. Should we call it? Projection. Unbelievable. If you just joined us and you missed where I want to make sure we got the meat of the interview in, and so I skipped to the end where they really got into it, and Chaya showed pictures of genderqueer and this book is gay to, or I think it was just genderqueer, to Taylor, and she was like, "Oh wow, I'd never seen that before." And now we rewind 40 minutes, and what is she saying?
All the books that you've sort of tried to get removed, how many have you read?
I've read a couple of them.
Which ones?
Genderqueer, This Book is Gay, The Bluest Eye, Nick and Andrew, These Big Nuts, The Gay BCs. What was the other one? Not All Boys Are Blue. I'm gonna get to 10. I'm gonna get to 10 just off rip.
Queer.
I've
read This Book is Gay. I've read Flamer. I've read, what were some of the other ones? My Shadow is Pink.
Ooh, I can remember that one. My Shadow is Pink. Add it to the list. Dylan said also, if people in this country are so racist, why would you applaud the immigration? Why not discourage them from coming to a clearly racist place? Fantastic point. It's because they don't actually believe that. It's just for the fucking narrative. Great point, Dylan. Great point.
It feels good to be yourself. There's so many more. Tons of them.
How do you kind of square, would you say, I feel like you are, or at least I feel like you've spoken about free speech before and the need for free speech and sort of supported Elon Musk's sentiments in that area.
Oh, so she's going to go and try to do the book burning thing.
Would you say that you're a free speech supporter?
Yeah.
So how do you square the sort of being this free speech supporter with wanting to ban literature?
How do you square being a free speech supporter with not using the N-word? Yeah, Taylor, the Audacity Lorenz, her new rapping wrestler name. There you go.
What kind of literature?
Any kind of literature. I mean, I would think that
what kind of literature am I trying to ban?
Oh, I thought you were just trying to say you've made an effort to get books removed from schools.
Semantic obfuscation. What books am I trying to ban? I mean, you've made an effort to get books removed from schools. So now getting books removed from schools equals book burning. Semantic obfuscation. It is a disease. Hey, shout out to Woodrow. Welcome to the party. Go to see ya, brother. One fellow said, we don't put Penthouse Mags in elementary school. Where are the free speech advocates at? Yeah, exactly. It's such a stupid line of thinking. Oh, yeah, you missed a decent amount. I did jump to the end to get the meat of the conversation. If you I don't know if you saw in Discord, but in the free chat, there is a picture that obviously I couldn't show on here, where Libs of TikTok for the first time shows Taylor Lorenz, who's crying on her shirt right here, shows her what these pictures actually are. And she does not react well. But then again, she just, speaking of mental gymnastics, she just now asked, how many of these books have you read? While she has read none. The audacity.
Oh, I thought you were just trying to say you've made an effort to get books removed from schools.
Yeah, so what about you were talking about banning books, though?
What kind of books?
Books dealing with LGBTQ people and sexual
education.
No,
that's not what I said.
Oh, so you're not trying to get any books banned from school?
That's not what I said either.
Okay, why don't you explain to me how you're thinking about this?
You just accused me of wanting to ban books. What kind of books am I trying to ban?
You tell me.
What do you mean, you tell me? I'm not trying to ban any books. You accused me of doing a thing I'm not doing, and now you want me to tell you that I'm doing the thing that I'm not doing. Journalism.
I'm not trying to ban anything.
But you're not trying to ban any books.
Who said I'm trying to ban books?
Are you trying to remove books from libraries?
Yes.
From public school libraries.
Okay. So how do you square your sort of notion of free speech?
So hold on there. Again, this is on child. You gotta be like, so hold on. So we can establish now that there is a difference between banning books and not wanting them in public elementary school libraries. Do we agree on that? You need to do that stuff. You need to do that stuff. Dylan said, if I'm ever interviewed by Taylor and she asks me who radicalized me, I'll hold up a cartoonish big mirror and show it to her. Yeah. Yeah.
From public school libraries.
Okay. So how do you square your sort of notion of free speech and free expression and allowing all of that stuff with wanting literature removed and wanting access to information removed?
What kind of literature?
You tell me.
Porn, gay porn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what do you consider gay porn in these books?
So you want to see it?
Are you talking about the stuff that you've tweeted, basically? You consider
Yeah,
it
like there's
inappropriate?
pictures of like blowjobs and like how to have gay sex with like naked people and people masturbating.
Strap-ons,
Did you?
dildos, spit versus lube.
Pictures of it.
Oh, totally. And
Yeah.
I went to public school.
Wait. Did we just get another? Did we get another one?
Did you?
Like pictures of it.
Oh, totally. And
Yeah.
I went to
like blowjobs and like how to have gay sex with like naked people and people masturbating and stuff. Yeah.
Did you?
Like pictures of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. And
Okay, I thought she was. I thought that there was a question there. Like, did you have this in school? And she was like, "Oh, totally." I think she's just saying, "I totally understand." Okay.
Yeah.
I went to public school, and we had a sex ed class in
kidding.
public school where we were shown, information about sexual health and, sex and masturbation and things like that. I'm curious about your own education. I mean, was that
No
something
words
you were,
needed.
did you ever go to a sex ed class, or is this all sort of new to you where you're sort of learning about how this works in public schools?
Again, that's another tactic. Do you know this? Are you educated enough on this, or are you just new to this? What do you mean? This is about biology. This is about being a human being. If you're a virgin, maybe there is a line of logic there. And I'm not trying to, I don't know anything about Chaya, but I'm just going to guess that she's not. Maybe she is. They definitely did not teach me about masturbation in schools. No. They didn't need to, but I mean, they didn't. I figured that shit out all by myself. Which just said there's a gulf deeper than the Mariana Trench between remove and ban. Jesus Christus, superstar of the conqueror. This bent is thick. I love it. Libby said, comrade leftist, school is not a library. School is not a bookstore. And most definitely, school is not a whorehouse. Facts. I can see it here now. I learned it from you, Taylor. If you know.
I don't live under a rock.
So you did have sex ed classes when you were growing up?
We had some kind of education, yeah.
So you do think it's important for children to have education, sex education?
Not the way they're doing it in public schools.
Well said. Well said. Because the yes leads her into, well, then why are you doing no? Because again, you have to remember that most people watching this have not seen the pictures, just like Taylor. Why would you expect that the people watching this would seen it when the journalist who's holding this interview hasn't even seen the pictures? Not even opened the book. Not one of them. So that's why, as much as, I will fucking ride for Chaya Raichik. She definitely could have done a lot here. And I think she handled herself well, but this could have been something that everybody was talking about. And it should have been. And so, not all of them are going to be winners. And she definitely, held her ground and did a great job. But I wish she would have had the rhetorical skills to just really slice Taylor up. And it wasn't there. Dylan said, if it wasn't for the clout these weirdos have received for canceling other people and websites, no one would take Taylor seriously.
Bingo.
Facts.
How are they doing it?
They're giving kids porn and telling third graders that they should masturbate. They're giving middle school children guides to gay sex and anal sex, sex toys.
How would you describe the type of sex education that you would like to see in schools?
Biological. Age appropriate and biological. These are not hard. It's not like It's almost like Taylor's asking these questions as if there's not an answer, as if we haven't thought about this. It's you again. Well, I guess we're gonna call that projection. Just because you haven't thought about this doesn't mean we haven't thought about this. Just because you have just accepted what other people have said doesn't mean that we have just accepted what other people have said. We've done our own reading, our own research, come up with our own opinions, talked to other people, tested our opinions, maybe changed our opinions because somebody had more information. You have done none of that. Yet, you have the perceived moral authority. And you're looking down your nose at her and all of us. Six said, Taylor keeps referring to the tactic of, so what you're saying is someone didn't learn from the JVP interview. Yeah, I told you, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Which just says she's wearing a mask. Taylor's credibility is gone from the jump. I mean, really? Yeah, I mean, even if it was inside, like I would still make fun of it, but maybe I'd be like, oh, whatever. She's in the left-wing bubble. You're outside! You're outside! She's outside. She would.
Toys.
How would you describe the type of sex education that you would like to see in schools?
At this point, I want all sex education actually removed from schools because I don't trust the schools to do it.
Ooh, that is a great way to get around the idea of, well, children need this education. Okay, fine. But if the schools are not responsible enough to do it, and the parents know that there's no sex education in the school at all, then that's going to put the onus on them to do that. And maybe some parents won't want to talk about it all. And we know, as of 2016, at least, when I was in DC talking to senators all around the country, we know that the instances of teen pregnancy, the instances of STDs are highest in the places where there's abstinence-only sex education. So I am in favor of biological and age-appropriate sex education. That's it. That too. Oh, come on. You guys know I get like a little OCD with my...
I want all sex education actually removed from schools because I don't trust the schools to do it.
Okay.
After what we've seen, I don't trust them at all. Zero. We need to completely eradicate it and then redo it in a normal way that's appropriate.
Hey.
So I saw you that you got banned from.
Goal or game over on that. Goal or game over on that.
In a normal way that's appropriate.
So I saw you that you got banned from Stripe today. How much money did you have tied up in that platform?
I don't know.
I'm not going to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So let's see if we can get a little Libs of TikTok Stripe. There we go. The Daily Caller. Libs of TikTok claims Stripe disabled its account and froze its fund in alleged sabotage. The popular conservative Twitter account Libs of TikTok claims that a payment processor, Stripe, disabled its account and froze its funds following the account's recent posts on social media. Libs of TikTok, known for its amplification of crazy progressive social media posts on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, alleged that its account with one of the world's biggest payment processors, Stripe, was frozen, and that was unable to access its funds with the company for a month. Rachik's work has garnered her many high-profile fans, including Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, and even the platform's owner, Elon Musk. And so the tweet says, breaking, Stripe disabled my account. They're also holding onto my funds and won't release them. I called and emailed, and they aren't giving me a straight answer. This has been going on for a month. Nobody has been able to subscribe to my newsletter, and my funds are frozen. Over 2.4 million followers. The Twitter account is run by conservative. She was doxxed by Taylor Lorenz from the Washington Post. Stripe responded to the allegation, claiming it was simply an administrative mix-up for a month. The head of the community communications, Edwin Wee, replied on Twitter, quote, the issue was the card statement descriptor was set as TikTok. Card networks found this confusing. Now the descriptors have been updated. Payouts have been enabled or re-enabled. They made a typo or something when setting up their Stripe account. Sure. They tried it and failed. So interesting. Hey, we got our resident Aussie, Chester. Welcome to the party, Valley Girls. Indeed. Welcome. Don't let me become Bible thumpers to see bass. Gotta be careful. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's gonna go one way or the other. Mom said Stripe is a piece of shit. My mentor had $2.5 million stolen from him by the company over a simple credit card dispute. Wow. Well, they have my credit card information for Timcast. So actually, no, I was there early, so they still take my PayPal. I don't know if PayPal is any better, but anyway, so moving on.
So I saw you that you got banned from Stripe today. How much money did you have tied up in that platform?
I'm not going to get into that. Mm-hmm. They already restored me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're back.
Oh, okay. They did. Okay.
I noticed, I think it was around last summer, you deleted a lot of your tweets and you kind of stopped posting. This is when Seth Dillon kind of tweeted, asking if you fell off or, saying that you weren't posting as you used to. What happened during that time? And did you think about quitting?
I have no idea. And no, I never thought about quitting.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it going. Let it
Why
ride.
did you delete all your old posts?
It was just a one-time editorial decision. I stand by all my posts.
See, and that's the other thing. That's just like so bitch. Like man or woman, it's so bitch. If you're trying to make a point, why did you delete these posts? You stand by them so strongly. Why did you delete them? Well, that was an editorial decision. Based on what? Do some fucking journalism.
I guess speaking of deleting posts, you still have a post up accusing the Uvalde shooter of being trans. Obviously, that's been debunked.
Yeah, there's a community note on it.
So why not remove that post if you're so comfortable with removing posts?
Because there's a community note. I think it's clear. It's obviously it was unintentional. There was a watermark on it. It was from a meme, an account that was going around.
Goal or game over on the community notes versus the Facebook fact checkers. I'm in comparison, I'm a much bigger fan of the community notes than the designated fact checkers. I think it adds a lot more, and especially when it can go both ways. And you see when people post bullshit on the left, we can community note that as well. I much prefer that. Woodrow said Taylor gets on my nerves. She's asking a bunch of pedestrian questions looking for a gotcha moment. It's so annoying. Yep, it's exactly right. That's exactly right. Twitland loves to tell you delete this or be put in the dunce corner. I always post that shit. I'll reread it just in case, did I say anything out of pocket? But whenever they tell me oh yeah, sure, you want to post this? I'm like, fuck yeah. Hey, we got Pooh Cooter in the building. Welcome to the party. So I can't really hear those two hens clucking with all this Jethro Tull I'm bumping. There you go. And yeah, community notes at least lets you rate it. I like them a lot better than the fact checks.
There was a watermark on it. It was from a meme, an account that was going around. And I'm glad there's a community note so people know that.
Do you believe if, say, a journalist posts something factually incorrect or wrong, especially about someone else, if somebody was to say something factually wrong about you, do you believe they should remove that, or do you think they should be able to keep that content up?
Twitter is free speech. People lie about me all the time on there, and they don't get taken down. If you want, it has to go both ways.
So you believe that people should be allowed to keep up wrong information about you?
Yeah.
And have no recourse, be able to keep that up.
Free speech is free.
Exactly. Free speech is free speech. One fellow said, if a journalist doxes someone, should they be allowed to keep their job and not get prison time? Maybe. If you don't know, again, if it was Taylor Lorenz here who doxed Chaya Raychick before Libs of TikTok was, or when Libs of TikTok was an anonymous account. But just I'm sure Taylor has said a bunch of things that turned out to be wrong. Things happen. Oh, she said it's not just that things happen. It's that she purposely will lie or purposely be ignorant, as we see that she's having this interview, not ever opening one of those books. It's not just that it happens. It's like we're pushing a narrative, and if it happens to be wrong, that's the price of doing business. It's not a mistake. That's bullshit. They do it on purpose.
About you and have no recourse, be able to keep that up.
Free speech is free speech.
Okay, so I'm kind of curious how you square that with the letter that you sent this morning to vSphere, claiming that, you were going to try to sue her for slander.
What is this Infinity doing? They just left. This has been sitting here the whole time. They just left, and now they're backing in again.
If free speech is free speech, then why are you threatening your critics with lawsuits?
Well, defamation is different.
So would you call misidentifying a shooter's sexuality defamation?
No, I wouldn't. Like I said, there's already a community note on it. So I'm glad that people now.
And you admit that it's wrong, right?
Okay, so let's see if we can actually Libs of TikTok. Oh god. Community notes. Let's see news. How about that? Let's see anything. All right. Well, I don't know if anybody knows what tweet they're actually talking about. If you want to go scroll through and see if we can find it, that would be awesome. Dylan said Taylor interviewing and projecting her wrongdoings on Chaya is like that Red Table Will Smith and Jada Pinkett moment. Fuck yeah, it is. Fuck yeah, it is. That is exactly what we are witnessing. Exactly. Great point.
Community note on it. So I'm glad that people now.
And you admit that it's wrong, right? Was the Uvalde
Yeah,
shooter
and
trans?
I wasn't the creator of that image.
Sure, but you can imagine if somebody amplified wrong information.
The media, like Washington Post and other places.
That's where Taylor works.
They lie all the time. They're never held accountable. They never remove it. They lie and lie and lie. So I am not gonna. If you want to hold me to that level, then I get to hold you to that level as well, and all the other media. So I just don't think it's not accurate to compare it, because
was the Uvalde shooter.
I think it's perfectly accurate to compare it. But the fact is, y'all are when you get it wrong. I got one thing wrong, and if I'm guessing based on context, it seems like Taylor is saying that Libs of TikTok misgendered the Nashville shooter by saying it was a whatever they were born as. I think. And so by the community notes, it's saying, well, okay, well, this is I don't know for sure. Obviously, we couldn't find it, but shout out to Guam Zach here. CIA agents posting the questions for Taylor's earpiece. I mean, would you be surprised? Just it also got distracted by all the people trying to reverse parallel park. It's hard to listen to that lady with the face yarmulke. Yep. Communism in America, the CIA.
Accurate to compare it, because
was the Uvalde shooter trans?
The Uvalde shooter wasn't trans.
Got it. And so I guess knowing that you've posted wrong information, you're saying it should stay up and everybody else should be allowed to keep whatever they have up as well.
Yes.
Is that sort of your stance? Am I accurately understanding it?
That's the first time that Taylor has said anything that would resemble a good faith interview. Is that sort of your stance? Am I accurately understanding? That's the first time. We are 15 minutes in. Remember that we skipped to the end, but we're 15 minutes in. And this is the first time she's doing any actual level of not even journalism, but just speaking in good faith.
Is there a law against?
No, I'm not asking law. I'm just asking your personal sort of opinion. I'm just kind of curious because it seems like you have come after other people, such as vSphere and other critics, saying you posted wrong information about me, take it down. I totally get that. That's your prerogative.
It's different with defaming a journalist like that.
Yeah, so there's a difference between getting something wrong and purposely defaming somebody.
they're defaming me.
And you don't think that calling a shooter trans when they weren't trans is defaming anyone?
No.
Okay, interesting. I guess I'm
They're like, no, they're knowingly lying about me.
Yep.
And what would you say that you did when you sort of posted that about the shooter being trans?
Like,
Shout out to the gender binary abolitionists. Hard to misgender someone when gender doesn't exist to begin with. There is male and there is female. That's it.
I said, a image that was going around for months that I shared from another thing accidentally, and I'm glad there's a community note on it.
There you go. I'm glad there's a community note on it because I'm not in the business of spreading misinformation. I might be wrong. I am human, but now the community note is there, and the information is there. Nobody is being defamed in that situation. What is your issue? Sebastian, I'm a 62-year-old man that identifies as a 5-year-old girl with blonde curls, and I can't get any free candy. Candy is a nice way to put it. Candy is a nice way to put it. There you go. 2 sexes, 0 genders.
I know you come from a more traditional family and sort of a more traditional culture. What is your family and think of your success? You've made a huge career for yourself. You're obviously a rising star in conservative media. How's that affected your interpersonal relationships?
I'm not going to get personal. My personal relationships.
Yeah. How's it affected your life? I mean, just dealing with this sort of fame.
Well, with bitches like you fucking doxing me, it sucks. Before you did that, it was pretty cool. Nobody knew who the fuck I was, and I was really making a difference in terms of the political landscape.
Relatively overnight.
So, I mean, thanks in partly to you, there's been a lot of like death threats, a lot of really nasty messages.
But you seem kind of proud about the press that you've received. I mean, your profile picture is holding up a newspaper with you in the headline.
And again, just a complete lack of even attempt to understand why that would be a point of pride. Why would that be a point of pride? Maybe, just maybe, it's the case that the idea that she's being persecuted for telling the truth is something that will rally people around her message. Crazy thought, right?
Stupid.
Yeah, a newspaper where they just basically lied about me. I thought it's
Great scene, great show.
It's funny that they just continue to make up these like lies and libels.
You've gotten even if you discount the mainstream media and just talk about the conservative media, I think your platform has risen pretty significantly.
Yeah, no thanks to you, bitch.
Changes has that had on you? I mean, I cover the content creator industry. And
again, it's probably not so much about the content as it is about you doxing her.
And I've seen a lot of people go from sort of a very low-key life, which I would imagine you were living before, to a massive amount of attention.
Right.
And money and power.
I cannot believe she is straight-faced asking these questions as if she didn't cause whatever answer is about to come. You caused that directly, personally. And you're just like, yeah, well, I mean, I'm just a journalist. I'm just getting the questions.
A massive amount of attention and, money and powerful people around you. How has that affected you?
Like I said, some safety issues, in part thanks to you and to some other members of the media.
No, you would get this, right? What's on Chai's shirt? That's exactly what you would get. Rules for thee, but not for me. One of those that she's trying to smooth over her crime by constantly bringing up, you made lots of money. She was making money way before everybody knew who the fuck she was. Why? Maybe because she was doing something. She was doing something that people cared about. But you couldn't have it. You couldn't have it. You had to release her information. Absolutely. I completely agree. And that is why when I saw I saw a clip of this on Twitter and I was like, oh, please let the whole interview be out there. And then when I saw it was on Taylor's fucking channel, I was like, oh, we going in. Has someone sued her yet? It sounds like it's worth something. Well, I think there was some. I'm just going off my memory. Don't quote me on any of this, but I think there was some lawsuit or something. But it turned out that, because of what she posted was a link to something that was public record, and something with her being considered a public figure or something along those lines. And she just got away with it. So I think, I'm not sure. I think Chaya did try to get some recourse.
To you and to some other members of the media. But I'm not going to get into my personal life.
Oh, no, not about your personal life. I'm just wondering about your career aspirations. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Notice, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where did we get? What was the question right after she showed the pictures of genderqueer? Well, how's your career going? So I think thinks she's got to tell. When she doesn't have anything else to say, she'll just talk about the future. So this is why I don't give Chaya shit for how she did the interview, because she didn't even want to be a public person in the first place and isn't really interested in being a journalist.
Bingo.
I think that is a great point, because I was, I'm not giving her shit, but, saying how it could have been better. And I think that's a really, really good point. She had an anonymous account. She did not want to be a public person. She did not want to be doing interviews. She did not want any of this. She just wanted to show us what was really happening. And most of us probably would not be aware of it for at least another couple of years from when we first learned of Libs of TikTok without her. It would at least have been years. All people here sharing asking tough questions. Well, yeah, I mean, she's being interviewed, so she's not the interviewer. So I definitely I'm not going to get on her for that. And she definitely could have done better in terms of the movement. But I think you make a great point.
Oh, no, not about your personal life. I'm just wondering about your career aspirations. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
We'll see. You can make all the plans you want, and God could decide something else.
So you don't have any sort of 5-year plan, 10-year plan?
I mean, I have plans, but nothing I'm going to share.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious, if Trump was reelected, would you be interested in a...
All right, here we go. We're getting to Trump. Let's just take a deep breath and a drink.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the FBI that leaked Chaya's info to Taylor. They had someone doing damage to the agenda and needed to fight back under the cover of a journalist doing it. I would not be surprised either. Just having said that, Taylor's so terrible that she ended up owning herself. Indeed, she did. All right, everybody ready? We're talking about Trump. We're talking with a lib journalist about Trump.
I'm curious, if Trump was reelected, would you be interested in a job with his administration?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Who are you supporting in the election?
There's one candidate, Trump. Mm-hmm.
Let's go! There's only one candidate. There's only one. There can be only one.
Yeah.
Will you be campaigning on his behalf?
We'll see.
Are you hoping to kind of, would you see yourself in DC?
I haven't made any plans yet.
Mm-hmm. How did you get connected with Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma? And how many times have you been to that state?
I'm just realizing how, this is probably relatively standard in terms of how journalists conduct interviews. Obviously there's a lot of tension because of the two specific people, but just it's not a conversation, and it's very clear that you're not really interested in anything but your article, and I'm just a vehicle for you to make money off of me. And it's it's just ugly. You feel fun. Even if that was the end goal, that I want to make money off of you by writing about you, in the process, you're sitting down having, having drinks at least. Have a conversation. Just so fucking weird. Dylan said Chaya's t-shirt of Taylor during this interview is like the guy that dressed like Dr. Phil on Dr. Phil's show. Speaking of Dr. Phil, have y'all seen that I don't know what he read. I don't know what he saw, but Dr. Phil has been on a red pill kick. He shout out to Amanda Kemp over on Facebook. Thank you so much for the like. Virgil, if you're there, I could use another one of those too, please. Thank you. But yeah, he was he's a daytime TV, so you're gonna get a certain type of person in a very narrow light of who is going to be on daytime TV. But we saw the clip that he was talking about the transes on Rogan. He went down to the border and was talking about how this is such an issue. So I'm interested to see where that's going. Chester said the incentive for Taylor was to become famous.
Bingo.
No one knew who the fuck she was before she doxed one of the biggest Twitter accounts. Nail on the head. Nail on the head. I guess it worked. She definitely made a name for herself, good or bad. Well said. Well said. Yeah, Dr. Phil has been bringing the heat. And I hope it's not, some like, what do you call it? Like, planned or what am I trying to say? Like he's a plant. Like, what's the word? I don't know. But I hope it's not that. I hope it's not that. Just said Taylor sounds like an 80s Valley girl pretending to be a Harvard graduate. Her intelligence reaches stupidity. Who said irony is a dead sin?
Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma. And how many times have you been to that state?
I was there once. They have, unfortunately, a lot of wokeness in the red state. And I'm trying to help.
How'd you originally how'd Oklahoma get on your radar as opposed to some others?
Because I started posting about the stuff going on in schools there, like I do across the country. And
Like you should say like an industry plant or like a something along those lines. But I don't know. But you know what I mean.
then, people were very upset that this was happening in their schools.
So, and you've
Interesting new information that people were upset about what's going on in their schools. I didn't know that, says Taylor Lorenz, the journalist.
been once. What do you think qualifies you to be on the board or, have to do with education, the education system there? Being that I don't believe you have children in the Oklahoma schools. You don't live in Oklahoma. You've only been once.
So why do you care about the sanctity of children? Why do you care about the innocence of children if you don't have children? That's weird. You must be obsessed with them and maybe you want to fuck them. Projection. That's where this is going. That's where this is going. Maybe not directly, but it's projection. Endless projection.
I don't believe you have children in the Oklahoma schools. You don't live in Oklahoma. You've only been once. How does that qualify you to sort of serve in that capacity?
What are the qualifications that they require to be on this committee?
USA Today reported on that, but I believe it was that you had to. Oh God, I might get it wrong, but
Hey, shout out to Monolithic Ethos in the building. Long time no see. Great to see you, brother. And you know the answer to this question. Why is Taylor wearing a mask? Because she's on camera and she wants to be virtue signaling. There it is. Controlled opposition. That's what I was thinking of. Good one. But yeah, you know exactly what it is. Exactly. Welcome to the party, Monolithic Ethos. You were controlled opposition. That's what we were trying to come up with.
I believe it was that you had to. Oh God, I might get it wrong, but I think you have to be some sort of educator. You have to have worked as an educator.
Okay, I was a teacher once.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay. So you feel like that qualifies you to sort of inform policies in Oklahoma?
I wasn't aware of any kind of qualifications that they require.
Right. Let's not forget that our government is we the people. It doesn't need to be experts. It is we the people.
I don't believe they require any qualifications.
Yeah, I was thinking more even just informally. But that makes sense. I guess, speaking of Oklahoma, obviously we saw the tragic death of Nex, a young child.
Tragic.
Okay, so I need to read something on this because when they brought this up, I'm just not familiar. So, okay, I did see this. So, okay, so just in case you didn't see this,
I'm curious about your reaction. You
wait.
Shortly after, people were asking you to.
Jesus Christ, how do I? What the? If you guys can see my screen right now, where is it? This? There we go. Okay. So this is the story that they are talking about. Little thing. You'll get the context.
So what happened today?
I got jumped.
Police in Oklahoma released body cam video of a hospital interview with a non-binary teen who died the day after getting into a fight at school. 16-year-old Nex Benedict was able to tell the Owasso police officer their account of what happened in the school bathroom that landed them in the hospital.
Apparently, apparently you have to be a professional in order to have concerns about obvious problems.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about us in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went up there and I poured water on them.
Okay.
And then all three of them came at me. They came
I'll just let it play out.
at me. They grabbed on my hair. I grabbed onto them. I threw one of them into a paper towel dispenser. And then they got my legs out from under me and got me on the ground, trying to beat the at me.
Okay.
And then my friends tried to jump in and help.
The following day, Nex's mother called 911 for her child, who was experiencing symptoms she believed were related to a head wound from the fight. Paramedics rushed Nex to the hospital where they died. Police say the initial autopsy report doesn't show that Nex died of trauma to the body.
Oh, wait, it doesn't have the rest of the body cam footage? Oh, hold on. I don't want this whole fucking thing. Let's do shit, first jab.
Why do they laugh like that? And all three of us are.
Ambulance here, quick, please.
All right. Well, I can't see what I'm not going to spend a million years looking for it. But in that conversation, she's talking about the incident where somebody was talking about her, and she tells her story, says that she threw water, then the other people started fighting. She threw The cop then says, okay, and she's a minor, so also talking to her mom, like, okay, so the story you just told me, we can definitely press charges if you want to press charges. However, you just told me that you started it by throwing water on them. That is assault. They can do this all day long, but once you make it physical, you are the instigator. You started it. So we can definitely, press charges and everything. But when it comes out and when I go ask them, and by your own admission, you threw the water, and then like, maybe not. So, I mean, again, I don't know too much about the whole story. I just saw that part, but that's what they're talking about. This I don't even know, non-binary, trans, whatever person got in a fight, and they were the instigator, even though essentially they did get jumped. But that's why you fucking around and find out.
I'm curious about your reaction. You posted a selfie shortly after people were asking you to address the issue, and you said, to the haters and the losers. Who are you addressing in that statement?
Anyone who hates me and anyone who's a loser.
Okay. Why would you choose to post that in response to people asking you to speak about this child's death?
It was not a response to that.
I guess, why would you post that prior to making any statement about Nex's death?
So, just to be clear, you're trying to police me on when I'm allowed to post selfies?
No, just curious.
I wanted to...
Ooh, we're getting heated. As we said, water is not beating with fists and kicks. However, it is initiating an altercation. Like, that's free speech is free speech. Once you, especially because, if we take it out of the context of America and certainly go to the UK, how do you know that's not acid? They had a whole string of acid attacks. And so somebody throws some liquid on you. You don't know if it's piss. You don't know if it's whatever it is. And so that then you are legally allowed to defend yourself. Just said Tim covered this pretty well. Tim Pool, that girl was the bully. She's unfortunately deranged, and her mother fed into those delusions, although she still called her she, and the kid didn't care. Surprise, surprise. Same story, over and over and over.
Just to be clear, you're trying to police me on when I'm allowed to post selfies?
No, just curious.
I wanted to post it. I thought it was a cute picture, and I just decided to post it.
How do you feel about Nex's death?
It's very tragic. It's horrible.
Do you believe Next should have been allowed to receive gender-affirming care?
She should not be allowed to go on irreversible puberty blockers or get sex change surgery.
How do you think about the fact that, so often your posts, things that you post about hospitals, libraries, schools, etc., after you make these posts about them, they deal with threats, sometimes bomb threats, sometimes harassment.
We don't know who's calling in the threats.
Good point. Yeah, like Taylor just tried to be like, well, it's you that is calling. Like, we don't know who's calling in the threats.
Sometimes, after you make these posts about them, they deal with threats, sometimes bomb threats, sometimes harassment.
Yeah. So not only is it the fact that we don't know who's giving them threats, but Chaya is not saying anything. She's just showing them what they are posting themselves. So if they get the backlash, they already made it public. What is the confusion? What is the confusion?
Yep. We don't know who's calling in the threats. And I mean, look, bomb threats are bad. I've said that 1,000 times. People calling bomb threats should be arrested and investigated. You can't call in bomb threats. But I just don't know what does it have to do with.
Well, I guess, a recent NBC investigation found at least 33 instances where you posted about a specific person or institution, and that person or institution was immediately bombarded with death threats and violent threats.
Okay, so the logical conclusion would be then that the person who posted the thing probably said something that made a lot of people angry. That's it. That's it. No, you shouldn't be sending death threats to anybody. But if you're getting death threats for something that you said, then it's not Chaya's fault.
Including bomb threats, other violent threats. That's a pretty significant correlation. How do you, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but I got like tons of death threats.
But it's okay when you get death threats because you're doing things that are not nice for trans people. That's literally what she thinks.
Week after the entire media
Allegedly,
machine came after me. So are they responsible for those?
I don't think that there's the same correlation. Are you receiving bomb threats?
I'm receiving death threats. Like, hi, I'm going to come murder you.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a bomb, so, that's not the same thing. So I win.
I definitely sympathize with you there.
Like,
I get those
literally.
every day.
No, you don't, Taylor, because the only reason anybody knows how to send her anything is because you doxed her.
The article goes live, and then I get those threats.
I get the same thing when a Fox News article goes live.
So is the journalist responsible? The journalist who posted the article?
I would say, there's a different responsibility when we're talking about media.
Ah, okay. So again, rules for thee, but not for me. When I do something that causes death threats to go to somebody, it's my fault. When you do something, or when somebody else does something to cause death threats to you, they're fine.
What?
Make that make sense.
And I guess to me, a death threat is different than a violent bomb threat. A death threat.
I knew it! Oh my God! Oh my God! I was joking. I was joking. A bomb threat is different. No, sweetie, it's not. There's not levels to dying. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. But dead is dead. Whether you're blown up or stabbed or shot or strangled or anything else, dead is dead. I cannot believe she just said that. Jada Lorenz over here. I cannot believe that she... Listen to it.
I would say, there's a different responsibility when we're talking about media. And I guess to me, a death threat is different than a violent bomb threat.
In what way? In what way? Shout out to Ancillary over on Kick. Welcome to the party. So she's a member of Mensa. Also, not surprising, welcome to the party. Yeah, I can't believe it, right? At what point are they going to stop surprising how far they can take this bullshit? It's insane.
A death threat, I think we're kind of getting normalized to them, unfortunately, online. We get a lot of them. Probably you and I get them constantly, 24/7. I'm wondering kind of how you think about taking these obscure people, right? Because you and I are both public figures, and I imagine you and I we have a high...
Why am I a public figure, Taylor? Why am I a public figure? Did I put my name and face out there? Or did you put my name and face out there? You fucking cunt. How dare you?
How dare you?
Taking these obscure people, right? Because you and I are both public figures, and I imagine you and I we have a high tolerance, right, for what we can handle online.
Yeah, now.
Say you're taking a private citizen, a gay...
like Chaya Raichik was before you doxed her.
A teacher, for instance, in a small town, and you post about that person, and then that person subsequently, who had no media presence prior, receives pretty violent threats.
So exactly what happened to Chaya. That is precisely and exactly what happened to Chaya. And not just that it happened, but it happened because of you. Are you stupid? Or are you just stupid? How dare she her?
Subsequently, who had no media presence prior, receives pretty violent threats.
We should probably, live in such a way to try to not let that happen, right? So like doxing people.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me pretty angry at you, Taylor.
We need to answer the question first, though.
Why am I a public person?
Is the journalist responsible for actions that have to happen after?
So you consider sort of...
I didn't even notice that she had sidestepped the question. Good on I always want to say Raya I always want to say Raya, but it's Chaya Raichik. Yeah, completely ignorant her own wrongdoing. Well, it's on her face. Or it's on her shirt. She's literally crying about being doxxed. It's not like she's crying because she had a bad day. It's not like she's crying because she got her car stolen, or her boyfriend broke up with her, or her parent died. She's crying because she got doxxed. Or maybe not because she got but she got death threats. And she has no idea. The lack of self-awareness is actually, like, impressive. Impressive.
The journalist responsible for actions that have to happen after.
So you consider sort of your posts about private citizens, incendiary posts, you consider that journalism?
I'm an independent journalist.
Uh-huh. And do you think that there's a difference between doing journalism on a completely private figure that has no public presence and no institutional power?
Like you did?
Versus reporting on a powerful public institution or person?
Like she did?
Still didn't answer the question. Is the journalist responsible for reporting for any actions that happen after the reporting?
Personally, I think that journalists should take care and should consider sort of the framing, and I think that they should do their best not to appear as if they encourage that sort of behavior.
Okay, so then the follow-up question is, do you think that I make it seem as though I appear to encourage that sort of behavior? And of course the answer is no. So then what the fuck are we talking about? And so I don't know what's more cringe to watch and listen to. Taylor here or Emma Vigilant getting worked by Tim Pool. I'm going to say this. Because like it's just exactly. Like it's so spot on, like the irony, the ignorance, it's so perfect. Like I almost want to question whether this is a skit. Legitimately. Because it's that wild. It's like, yeah, exactly, Taylor. So why did you do that? Just independent journalists are protected under the First Amendment. Absolutely. Taylor's off the rails here. She doesn't understand what a free press means. Plot twist! It's actually Emma in a Taylor mask!
Not to appear as if they encourage that sort of behavior. I've noticed that you haven't necessarily publicly condemned that behavior. publicly told your supporters, listen, guys, stop calling in these bomb threats.
Who said?
Protection. Taylor, you getting me drunk, girl?
It's my followers. Do you have information that it's my followers?
I guess who else's followers would it be?
I don't know.
So
There's 300 million people in this country.
So you post bomb threats follow, and you're saying it might be just unrelated people?
I have no idea. We don't know who it is.
You're the journalist, Taylor. You're the journalist, Taylor. Maybe go and find some of these death threats and say, oh, yes, indeed, they do follow Libs of TikTok. At least. Then you would have some grounds to say it is connected to her. Now, logically, yes, we can think that, yeah, probably it does have something to do with her posts. But then we have to get to the point where what is she posting? What is she posting? Is she posting, my opinion on trans people is blah, 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 blah. My opinion on this trans person is they are bad, so you should do that. If she was doing that, I'd be like, oh yeah, fuck that. But she is not. She's just saying, hey, look what this person said. That's it. Hey, shout out to IndieFilm. Welcome to the party, brother. Good to see ya. It's sounding almost exact. Yeah, I mean, in a dark room, I'd be hard pressed to tell them apart. Just the only thing a journalist is required to do is report. They have no obligation to provide opinions or admonish others who respond to the facts they report. Bingo. Well said.
You're saying it might be just unrelated people?
I have no idea. We don't know who it is.
Have you taken steps to find out?
Have you? You're the journalist! Jesus fucking Christ.
Some FOIAs with police departments.
Yeah. What have you found?
We haven't got to anything useful yet that we can use. But actually, one of them, we know it's like some foreign actor, not even from the country. So who knows who it is?
Yeah.
It's China.
It seems like Twitter is your main platform these days, although I know you've been posting on Rumble. How much money have you made from the platform?
It's personal.
Mm-hmm. Is that what sort of portion of your revenue is based on Twitter as opposed to other platforms?
That's personal. So speaking of Twitter, do you regret not getting a blue check? Because then you can make tons of money.
No, I don't monetize online.
I don't monetize.
Yeah, I don't. If I was an independent journalist, maybe. But
yeah, I don't need to because WAPO pays me $7 million a year to not know shit and dox you.
But I'm not. I don't monetize on any of my social platforms.
Because again, WAPO pays me so much.
I noticed you sort of, speaking of the media, you've changed your approach recently, or at least it seems like you're being a little bit more antagonistic towards the media and a little bit more forceful.
I wonder why. It's almost as if the media is sitting her down and attacking her directly to her face. Yeah, a journalist is not. Well, now it does. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, right. Like, how much money do you make, bitch? New online game show. Taylor or Emma? Amongst his nine. So why does Tay thinks it's in the public interest to know how much money she makes? What did Sia say? The machinations of the feminist mind is an enigma. That's my answer. That's my answer to so many things these days. I'm going to steal that. Dylan said, this is incredible. Random audience members saw a connection between Eric July's trolls and Dick Masterson. And yet digital news journalist Taylor can't push buttons and use the search feature. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Recently, or at least it seems like you're being a little bit more antagonistic towards the media.
We are past the 2-hour mark, guys.
In the way that you speak about the media.
Keep the party raging.
Being lied about and defamed for 2.5 years.
I guess what led to
Really? That was in SpongeBob? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. She's any journalist is required to be antagonistic towards any entity that is telling lies or breaking the law. Taylor keeps forgetting what a journalist is. No, she's just confusing the fact that indeed she's thinking that journalist equals activist. So she thinks her job is to be an activist because of the fact that she is a journalist. Wow. Was the feminist part too? Because now that it's an enigma. I remember that part. Like it's triggering something. machinations of the. I'm spelling. Wait. No, I'm not gonna look it up. I'm not going to do it. But god damn. Just a free press is required for any free country. Yeah, no, that's not a high horse at all. That's exactly right.
About and defamed for 2.5 years.
Okay. I was gonna say I knew it wasn't. I knew they weren't talking about feminism like that. Your life may be an open book, SpongeBob, but the inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. Thank you.
Stick towards the media and a little bit more forceful in the way that you speak about the media. What led to that change?
You?
Being lied about and defamed for 2.5 years.
Did she just laugh? Did she just laugh at that? Did you hear that? Or am I hearing things?
Defamed for 2.5 years.
She did. She laughed at it. What a fucking horrible person.
I guess what led to, I would assume you felt like that for quite a while. What led you to sort of change the way that you speak about the media, or the sort of...
Well, their attacks were ramping up. So, like I said, you know, the lies and the defamation.
Hey, shout out to Unwanted Foe with the $2 super chat. Said that Morte Tay treat. Come on up here, buddy. There you go. Thank you. So much. Very much appreciated. Always got to get Morty his treats. Zippy says Taylor is just evil and loving the pain and suffering she's caused. Yep, that's facts. That is facts. I mean, I don't know what other way you could look at this and see anything else. Sad, very sad.
Well, their attacks were ramping up. So, like I said, you know, the lies and the defamation, the hypocrisy.
You know,
thank you again, Unwanted Foe.
Eradicate transgenderism, which I believe you suggested in a post today.
No, I never suggested that.
Oh, okay. You reposted a post that was advocating for that. What would happen to the people that have already medically, socially, completely transitioned and are leading happy lives? What would happen to them?
They would just continue living their lives as they are.
I mean, what's your plan for that? If
Why does she need a plan for their lives?
Transgenderism doesn't exist, which it seems like that's what you believe. What happens to all the people living happy lives as trans people?
Nothing.
Well,
absolutely
nothing. First of all,
absolutely nothing. They can continue doing everything they want, except using this language that is corrupting the minds of our children and our country.
Trans it's based on a lie. You can't change your gender.
Okay, but
so they could go live their lives.
I mean, I remember this part. All right, if you're not paying attention, pay attention.
Someone what to do in their house.
Sounds like you do want to tell people what to do in their house.
How? In what way? What is it that Chirachik has said that has made you think that she wants to control what people are doing in their house? Oh, nothing? You're just saying things? Got it.
I never said that.
So you're totally okay with people being trans, just not as long as they're in public?
No, I never said that. They could... the whole thing is based off of a lie, and I think that this lie cannot be mainstream in our society.
This lie cannot be mainstream in our society. I think that's a completely fair statement. If something is not true, it cannot be a cornerstone of our society.
It's a lie.
And what harm is it causing, do you believe?
What harm is it causing? When people show you who they are, believe them. She is okay with society being built on a lie. And she forced it, blame her. But Christians, it's the same shit. It's the same fucking shit. If it's not true, it's not good. And so here she is saying, well, maybe if it's not true, but we should let it go on in society. If you have a reaction to that, remember what you believe without evidence.
It's a lie.
And what harm is it causing, do you believe?
I like the truth.
I agree, Seabass. If we allow lies, our society dies. Poet didn't even know it. Goes for the Bible too.
I like truth.
I like truth
right,
too.
but I'm saying what's the harm of people expressing their gender identity
It's
differently
a
than
lie.
you believe it to be? What
They are
harm are they
wrong.
causing?
Like I said, we are a nation of truth, and
See, here, I wish you would have, actually talked about what those effects are. The fact that children will grow up believing the wrong things and do things to their body, believing the wrong things, and regret those things because what they were told were lies. I wish you would have said that. It's unfortunate that that needs to be articulated, and it's not enough to say, "Oh, it's a lie, so we don't want it. We prefer the truth." That's not enough anymore. Just so Taylor fell off the short bus. Then it ran over her. It's been a good minute since I've been this infuriated by someone's idiocy. I agree. Mom said, do you think Taylor's using more semantic obfuscation or linguistic creep? I honestly don't know if she's smart enough to use obfuscation. Damn. Come on up here, Mark. That is a fantastic question. So for those of you who are not familiar with the terminology we use over here, semantic obfuscation is the purposeful and direct changing of the meaning or usage of words to gain political capital, whether it's in the context of an interview or a debate or anything else. Linguistic creep is the effects of somebody obfuscating words and then other people hearing it and then getting the wrong idea because of the semantic obfuscation. And so Gontek is asking, is she the one twisting the words, or is she just following the twisted words that she's been taught? I really don't know. I want to believe that it's the former. I want to believe that she's using the semantic obfuscation because I don't want to believe that anybody who's over 30 can be this fucking out there. But as I say that, I know that that's not the case. So I would have to go. I would have to go with linguistic creep. Let's make that a poll. Which is Taylor using? So again, the idea behind so I'm just going to do SO and LC. Semantic obfuscation is if she's purposely changing these the way that she's using these words, like before with the book banning thing. When she said, do you want to ban books? Oh, but you want to take them out of the library. Was she purposely, muddying the meanings? Or is she the quote unquote victim of not being able to see the difference between burning books and simply taking them out of public school? That's a fantastic question. God damn. It's 60%. Oh, 50-50. Let's let it ride.
I said, we are a nation of truth, and I seek the truth.
Exactly. The moon is made of cheese. What's the harm in people believing that? This is the exact thing that I harp on when I talk about dogma. There is harm because beliefs inform actions, and incorrect beliefs lead to inappropriate actions.
But I'm asking about the harm. What's the harm? You might believe it to be false, but what's
the harm is that there's a lie that is very mainstream and is being embedded into every institution.
Like, how can you not see that that is harm?
I guess I'm wondering what the material harm is, aside from it's maybe something that you disagree with, as in your
Stupid.
Just made me stupid. I don't even know what to say.
version of the truth is different than their version of the truth. What is the material harm of them living their life as a woman or man?
Actually, yeah, the fact that she's making this argument, that tells me that it's linguistic creep. That she doesn't, that she just doesn't understand. She's not smart enough to see that these questions don't make sense. She's just not smart enough. I'm saying if it's linguistic creep, it's most likely because it's her media company that feeds her the narrative. She doesn't question it and is happy to just be on the winning team, on the right side of history, right? Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right. So, and anybody else going to vote? I'm going to keep it up for this next clip, and then we're ending it. So vote if you want to vote.
Truth. What is the material harm of them living their life as a woman or man or gender that you don't agree?
Not anything that's wrong is there a material harm necessarily.
So there's
Ooh, good one. Just because something is wrong doesn't mean there's material harm. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't mean that it's not wrong.
no harm.
I didn't say that.
So can you name a single harm?
The way that it's pushed onto kids, first of all.
Which is the same thing she's been saying the entire time.
What's pushed onto kids?
Gender ideology, transgenderism.
But if they're leading happy lives,
But they're not. They're ending themselves in record numbers. We now have numbers on desistance rates. 80, I think it's 80, 85, or I don't remember the exact number. But we know that the overwhelming majority of children who think that they have gender dysphoria, if you just leave it alone, then they will not continue down that road. If you put them on that road, you are now putting them into a category where the self-deletion rate is up in the 60%. And the likelihood that they continue down that road is very high. And the likelihood that at some point they decide they don't want to go down that road and then have to deal with walking back that, which you can't ever go fully back, that is harm. You stupid, stupid person. How can you not see that? The only way is if you are purposely not looking into it, purposely staying ignorant, so that you have the I don't know, the plausible deniability that you're stupid and not evil. That's the only thing I can think of.
Gender ideology, transgenderism.
but if they're leading happy lives and they just are leading a
Well,
different...
there are studies that show that they're more suicidal after transition.
There you go.
No, that's not true.
That absolutely is true. So you want to tell me that the average self-deletion rate of children is higher than the self-deletion rate of trans children? Sorry, Ani. No. 69 said it's not society being unaccepting. It's that they realize this doesn't help.
Bingo.
Exactly. Maybe she thinks being ignorant makes her unbiased. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
They're leading a
Well,
different...
there are studies that show that they're more suicidal after transition.
No, that's not true.
Pull it up.
That is
Pull it
not
up.
true.
Pull it
You
up.
can look up the study.
Well, taking into account all of the happy people that have transitioned who are not harming anyone,
Yeah, the 7 of them who are happy now, but will eventually detransition.
you can't come up with a single material harm.
So
5 people are happy, and a bunch, thousands of people, and thousands more people that you are pushing for are going to go down this road. But because some people are happy with it, it's okay. So because some people are happy being heroin addicts, what's the material harm in telling people that heroin makes you feel good? What's the material harm? I know it's a lie, but what's the material harm? Do you understand how fucking stupid this line of thought is? The only way you can get here is if you have dogmatic beliefs that gender ideology is good. You cannot get here unless you have dogmatic beliefs that your ideology is right. I cover it on the other side all the time. This is what happens, and this is those of you who are entrenched in dogma for the other side. Just make it. Just pay attention. I'm not saying you are the analog to Taylor. I am saying that you cannot be this dumb, this ignorant, and this successful without dogma. It cannot happen. What year, bro? This was last week. This was 6 days ago, 4 days ago. Yep. Well, said Chai just needs to pull a Tim Pool and tell her, I don't know if you really believe that or if you're just that stupid. It would be completely fair with some of the questions Taylor is asking. Yeah, I completely believe. Yeah, right. She's anti-science.
Who are not harming anyone. You can't come up with a single material harm.
So if someone says, I'll be happier if I'm blind, should a doctor pull their eyes out?
I think that's quite different than gender ideology, but
Is it though? It's not, honey. That's the fucking point. It's exactly the same thing. Precisely and identically exactly the same thing.
Oh, if someone says, I'll be happier if I'm blind, should a doctor pull their eyes out?
I think that's quite different than gender ideology,
How?
but
How? Explain the difference.
people do, I guess.
Someone says I'm happier if I chop my dick off, then we should just let them do that.
I think, there's a lot of gender affirming care that women do, right? I mean,
Oh, so we're just going to pivot to adult women doing things. We're talking about children. If you want to get a boob job as an adult, go for it. If you want to chop off your dick as an adult, go for it. We are talking and have always been talking about children and truth.
women ascribe to certain gender things. You see women getting boob jobs to affirm their gender. I mean, we're in Los Angeles. We see this kind of gender affirming.
So again, you're comparing boob jobs and nose jobs to
Well, they're gender affirming.
Buying into the lie that they could change their sex.
Breast enhancements are gender affirming for women. There's a lot of women.
Right, but they're already women. They're already women. They are affirming the gender that they actually are. So let's, again, take sex out of the equation. Or excuse me, take gender out of the equation. So females are getting things to affirm the fact that they are female. When males do things that affirm that they are female, they're not female.
Women that feel small-chested, they feel like it would be gender affirming for them to have plastic surgery. And they're allowed to do it. And I noticed that you don't critique that. I guess I'm curious, Haya, there are a lot of people that have ideas about women, right? And about what makes a woman, right? What makes a appropriate woman? How should a woman? You're saying you're against people sort of like living lies or living outside this ideology that you've constructed. Some might say, look, we're both women over the age of 25, working. I certainly don't have kids.
Why am I not surprised?
They might consider that not okay for a woman. Do you think it's up to that? Do you think it's okay for them to dictate how, you live your life?
Yes, they are absolutely allowed to have the opinion that if you are over 30, you should be married. Next question, you fucking moron.
As a woman, do you think it's up or sort of where does that line get drawn?
So again, you're comparing boob jobs to a teenage girl chopping off her breasts.
Well, first of all, teenage girls get boob jobs, but breast enhancements are gender affirming
So the answer to the question was yes.
for many women. I'm asking you, why is it that
No. She's asking you, are you making this comparison? And then you're just dodging that and asking your own question.
people have to live under your sort of view of gender?
They don't.
And
It's not my view, it's science. It's facts, it's biology.
But biology, if we're talking biology, there's a spectrum of gender. There's people that are intersex.
That is the exception to the rule. That if you want to make that argument, then sex is bimodal. It means there's two categories, and there might be some overlap. There might be some people who are in between. They're not in one category or the other, but there are only two categories. There are only two categories.
Is a very rare medical condition that has nothing to do with.
I swear to God, I do not understand why people literally do not do this hand motion. I just do this. A 5-year-old can understand. There's this group and there's this group, and they overlap a little bit, but you still only have two hands. When you do this, you don't grow a third hand. There's still two hands. Just do that.
Someone deciding that they could be the opposite gender.
I guess I'm still kind of struggling to understand how you think, if your view, say tomorrow Trump is elected, he says, all right, we're going to all live by Haya's, decisions, right? What about all these happy trans people that are living their lives that are not harming anyone?
What about them? What even are you asking?
What harm are they doing by living their life as a woman who've medically transitioned? They're adults. I understand.
Okay, well, if they're adults, then we don't have a problem with what they do with their body. It then comes to the rhetoric and propaganda that they're pushing on children. I don't know how many ways we can explain this to you people. It's very, 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 very simple. Two sexes, children, and adults. When you're an adult, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but it doesn't change your sex. When you're a child, we're doing the hungry dance. We're doing the hungry dance. When you're a child, you do not have the ability to make medical decisions, and a bunch of the stuff that we've decided children cannot do. That goes to the parents. It's not complicated. Once tonight said she says, obviously I don't have kids. Honey, we already knew that. I can't imagine a single straight man who'd want to procreate with her. Fuck her? Sure, but not have kids with her. Facts. Anyone said humans have two hands. If a child is born with one hand, they must not be human. Science. Dylan said, are the happy trans people sitting in the room with you now, Taylor? Can you point to them? Got him. Oh, fuck off, Taylor. Biology has nothing to do with this imaginary spectrum of gender. Trying to use a genetic disorder to justify mental disorders is some of the most disingenuous shit.
Bingo.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Living their life as a woman who've medically transitioned. They're adults. I understand you have problems with kids, but with adult trans people, what's the harm that they're doing to society?
Teaching children that it's okay to lie to yourself and to others.
To society, they're spreading a lie that is affecting children also.
Bingo.
So you just believe gender is a lie. And what if somebody said to
Trans, you can't change your gender.
And what if somebody said to you, you're not a real woman. You're not a real woman because maybe you don't.
They'd be wrong because of, again, biology and truth. Just because people say things doesn't just make it true. How is this not landing? If somebody says she's not a woman, they would be wrong.
Don't meet these certain specific definitions of femininity.
That's fine. I don't care. They can call me whatever you want.
But what if you would be forced to live by that system? Do you think it's fair that you would, be forced to live?
Well, apparently, the patriarchy, that would be probably great. If, I could live like a man, according to Taylor, women have it so hard, we do this, that, or the other. So if I was identified as a man, then my life would be much easier. Do you see how it all falls apart with the tiniest bit of scrutiny? It all falls apart. None of this makes any sense.
Based in science?
Well, I don't think any of it's really based in science.
Well, it is.
I agree. None of it is based in science, guys. We have come to the conclusion of the entire trans debate. None of it is based in science, so let's throw it the fuck away.
Be forced.
Is that
to
based in science?
Well, I don't think any of it's really based in science.
Well, it is.
Gender is
There are
a
two sexes.
social construct.
Well, gender is actually made up.
Exactly. Yes,
by
we agree on
someone
this. We
by
agree.
a child predator.
Shout out to John Money. Anyone said, I love how she keeps saying, forced by the system. She's forced by the system, transfer voice by the system. Who's forcing who to do what? Nobody's forcing anybody to do anything. She's trying to obfuscate the position by acting as if Riot wants to force people to do things, and that's simply not the case.
Pedophile.
We don't agree.
Yeah.
We don't agree on
so he made up
wait.
gender. Child predator by a pedophile.
We don't agree.
Yeah.
You don't agree that a dude that was jerking off 5-month-old babies was a pedophile? Okay. If that's what you think.
We don't agree on
So he made up gender, and now they conflate the two, and they use it to basically trans kids. So there are actually two sexes, and there are 0 genders, and there are many personalities.
Personalities. We talk about this all the time, that people don't have a personality, and so they take on this identity and make that their personality. They don't have any hobbies. They don't have any interests. They don't have anything to think about. They don't have anything they care about. They just want attention. And they don't have a personality to get that attention. So they've created this gender thing. That is all that it is. Shout out to Tony Blundetto. Welcome to the party. Said, imagine getting owned by Taylor Lorenz of all people. I would have to imagine that, because that is absolutely not what the fuck happened here. That is the complete opposite of what happened here. But as we will see from the comments in a minute, a lot of people think the way that Tony does. But either way, welcome to the party, Tony.
Sexes, and there are 0 genders, and there are many personalities. That's what I believe.
Okay. You know, a lot of LGBTQ people say that your posts cause an enormous amount of pain.
Apparently Taylor's the smart one here. Okay.
How does that make you feel?
How does it make you feel that you're reporting on me causes me pain?
I feel sad for that, honestly. Yeah.
So
Then don't do it.
would you stop?
No, I'm a journalist and you're a public
Oh,
figure. But I'm just talking about, you know, these non-public figures, right? These non-public figures that
Well,
are.
if you put yourself out there on a public platform, then
So Tony, if you're not a fan of either, and you're watching as a you know, an independent third, like very obviously, there's one person who's being bad faith. There's one person who doesn't understand the other person, and then there's the other person, Raya, who completely understands exactly what she is, has said the same thing, has not spoken out of both sides of her mouth, has had answers to every question. So I don't really know what it is that you are like. How in what way is she a dumbass? There's one yeah, exactly. There's one person. There's one person who's incapable of answering basic questions. That would be Taylor. Every question that's been put out, Raya has answered the question. There's been many questions that Taylor has put out that Taylor then pivots and talks about, well, what about the future of your career? So, I mean, you know, I don't, maybe you watched a different clip or something, but objectively, this is just not what's happening.
Non-public figures, right? These non-public figures that
well,
are.
if you put yourself out there on a public platform,
Tony, are you Taylor? Are you Taylor?
then you're kind of making
So
yourself
anybody
public.
that posts on social media is a public figure in your mind?
If you're putting your videos out there with the intention that it should go viral, you want publicity.
So if somebody's posting on social media, which inherently posting on social media, you're looking for attention, right? You're saying that meets the
Attention for what? Attention for your person or your attention for your account? Oh, attention for the account. And so if you decide to make an anonymous account, then the only assumption is that you want attention to the account and not to the person. Otherwise, you put your face, name, address, phone number, whatever else. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Let me see what Tony's saying here. Tony said, Chaya can't answer why transgenderism is even a thing. The answer is that it's promoted by the Jews, but Chaya can't say that. Okay, bro.
inherently posting on social media, you're looking for attention, right? You're saying that meets the bar for a public figure?
I'm not a lawyer.
But I'm asking your opinion.
I think that these people, well, first of all, a lot of the people I post about are actually in positions that are
teachers.
public.
But
Teachers,
I'm talking about
doctors.
the people that haven't, right? The individual private citizens that you've posted who are not, I would argue they're not public figures. You're saying they are public figures because they're posting on social media?
They want to be public. They're public. They're going on a public platform and publicly posting a video on a social media site that
With their face.
is meant for your videos to go viral.
Uh-huh. And what about Twitter? Would you consider Twitter as well a platform where stuff is meant to go viral?
Every social media. If someone posts something on social media,
Get to the point.
that
What is your
needs to go
point?
viral, it's always a risk.
So, got it. So when you were building your audience and had hundreds of thousands of followers, then would you also agree that you were a public figure?
I think that
Hold on, I want to hear that. Sorry.
Followers, then would you also agree that you were a public figure?
No, because it was an anonymous account. So the account was public, yes, but she was private until you doxed her.
I think that if anyone who puts something out there publicly,
Which technically she did, but she didn't put any of her information out there publicly.
anyone could share their stuff.
Got it. And so, but I'm saying you consider these people, LGBTQ people, who are just posting on social media, public figures.
I said I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the legal
I'm just
definition
asking your
of public
opinion.
figure.
One thing you noted, and I'm only asking this because I know that you've noted that, when I reported on you, that you felt like it was unfair and that you didn't meet the bar for a public figure. So I'm just kind of wondering, as somebody with such a large social media audience,
As an anonymous account, though. Website said Taylor has been the only one who is literally just saying, I don't know, I really don't know, to the simple question she's being asked. Pretty sure that is someone not answering simple questions.
Bingo.
People will see what they want to see.
you're saying people with much smaller social media audiences meet the bar for a public figure. Wouldn't you have considered yourself a public figure?
If anyone puts out content publicly, then that content could go anywhere. That's what I believe. It could go viral. Anyone could share it. It could go to the wrong side.
Again, she needs to articulate. This is not the way. Shout out to 305 Junebug over on Instagram. Welcome. She needs to articulate the fact that it was purposely an anonymous account and that we should be allowed to have anonymous accounts. That is something that should be protected. Just in the same way that Taylor would protect her sources. Jesus, what did I do here? Hold on. Okay. Yeah, just like she would want her sources protected. It's the same thing. You said, how many of these LGBT people that Taylor's talking about have been doxxed by libs of TikTok? None.
What they call the wrong side of TikTok.
Yeah.
It could go, people will see it. You can't control that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they hate me, because they want to create this content and they only want their bubble to see it. And then I'm like showing it to other people and they just can't handle it.
I think you're editorializing it.
You're taking a video and posting it in full with no commentary, no caption, no nothing. That's editorializing it. Oh my Lord. If I could get that amount of grace when it comes to editorializing, I would be playing movies all goddamn day. Editorializing? She is super butthurt. This is insane. I should just point blank ask her, why did you dox me? I was private until then. Yeah, I don't see why. And that's, again, I think it was Glomtek's point, is that she didn't want to be a public person. And so she didn't want any of this. That being said, she should definitely just call her out. Pot, meat kettle.
As well.
I provide very little commentary, probably the least from any other Twitter account that's even a quarter my size.
Yep.
Let's talk about drag shows.
Yeah, let's just change the you just made an accusation and I debunked it, and then I'm just going to move on.
You've come out a lot about, you're very against drag shows. Can you give any examples of children being harmed from drag shows?
It's not going to lick itself. I mean, this is a thing. Where is it? You guys. Oh, there we go. What harm is it doing to children? What harm is this to children? Oh, I see children here, and it's not going to lick itself. Well, what would be the implication that it's not going to lick itself? That maybe you, child, have to do the licking? Makes sense to me. And I was going to say, is she very against drag shows, or is she against drag shows in front of children? And again, that's another thing where it's like, you have to articulate these things, because the people watching, and as we go in the comments, because we're coming right up on the point where we started, and I want to take a look at some of the comments, because it's sad. We just said kids are handing out dollar bills like folks in a strip club. I should know. So you guys to take your kids to the bar, they said. It will be fun, they said. Sad. Dylan said having adult-based drag shows for kids is like having a Disney or Nickelodeon TV show scene set in a Hooters restaurant or a sleazy strip club. That's too much logic, bro. You're bringing too much logic. All right? These people can't understand that. Yeah, 305 Junebug says they are evil. Indeed, they are evil.
Can you give any examples of children being harmed from drag shows?
Yeah, there was one where this mom was saying that her kid decided to be non-binary after watching the drag show, and then the drag queen helped the kid buy like new clothes to be non-binary.
And you consider that harmful?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
because non-binary is made up. Like you can't. There's no such thing as non-binary.
See, if Taylor was smart, then she might bring something up like Santa, because Santa's a lie, and we talk to our kids about Santa all the time. But if you, oh, there we go, dangerous logic gang. There we go. But like, yeah, that would be a reasonable way. So why is it okay that we tell children about? Well, I guess it's Elf on a Shelf now, right? But either way, at least that's a logical conversation. We've had none of that.
Well, because non-binary is made up. Like you can't. There's no such thing as non-binary, and then it just leads a kid on a path where probably they'll end up in a hospital getting some of their body parts chopped off.
Yep.
You seem very against plastic surgery.
For children. You seem to be missing that part every time. Children.
Are you against?
I'm against sex change surgeries.
What about women that want to get their boobs done, want to get their nose?
How is that sex change surgery?
I want to get cheek implants.
We're just gonna go in circles.
Well, I'm just curious.
But it's good to note that you're comparing nose jobs to teen girls getting their breasts chopped off.
Well, teen girls also get boob jobs to make their breasts bigger, right? So both are.
Was that not understood? Yes, we all know what a boob job is.
Gender affirming in different ways. You seem very obsessed with one and not interested in the other. So that's kind of what I'm interested in. And I guess I don't really understand that, because both are gender affirming in different ways.
Yeah, but one is affirming the gender that actually correlates to the sex, and one is not. It's just that simple. It's like okay. Let's try to come up with a perfect analogy for this. So, if somebody wants to do, let's say somebody is a police officer, right? And they want to do things that make them feel better about being a police officer. So they spend time at the shooting range, making sure that they are comfortable, confident, and accurate with their weapon. That would be a good thing, right? But what about a violent felon who has who already has been convicted for violent crimes? And whether you agree with the law that felons can't own guns or not, that is the law. So we have a violent felon who then is doing the exact same thing, except they want to feel like they are God's chosen person, and they have to kill all people with brown hair. It's affirming. Do you see how fucking stupid what you're saying actually is? I think Devin wants big. Probably. Which is, this interview is lowering the IQ of my Diablo 3 character and making my cat cough up fur balls. Well, luckily we are near the part where we started. 305 Junebug said these people are delusional and live in crazy land. Yeah, and the question we were asking before is, are they, is somebody like Taylor, is she the one twisting things? Or is this the next generation where people who were twisting things now have led to a generation of people who think the twisted stuff is just the way it is? And I think that's her. I think her brain is just scrambled, and she thinks she's being perfectly logical and reasonable and everything. And that Chaya's the one that's like crazy. How did we get here?
I don't call it gender affirming care. I call it sex change surgeries for people who are sold the lie that they can change their sex.
Yup.
Where do you sort of hope this will end up? Like all of this sort of the advocacy that you're doing. I know you said you don't have a 5-year plan for yourself, but
where I would hope that it ends up is that people understand that if you are going to go through this, then it is a extremely expensive, taxing, and irreversible thing. So that if you want to do it as an adult, you have the understanding of what it is, and that it is not portrayed as something other than what it is, so that children feel as if it is a reasonable solution to not being popular.
What are what's if you were sort of like going to describe your platform? What are some things that you'd like to see, meaningful changes in terms of policies, laws?
Oh, I want to eradicate gender ideology from public life.
From public life completely?
Yeah, the whole thing is built on a lie.
Well, you certainly have a gender yourself.
Gender ideology. No, I don't. I have a sex. Gender.
And so this is where we popped in. For those of you who did not see the beginning, I do want to just replay this part where Raya's asking about the books Genderqueer and the Genderqueer and This Book is Gay, among others. And well, let's just watch. If you've already seen this, stick with me. I just want to show this part again, and then we are headed to the after party. Make sure if you are not already a member that you join the membership on this channel so that you get access to the private parts of the of the Discord community. It is free to join. It's absolutely free to join. If you join for free, thank you, Unwanted Foe. Just drop the link there. It is free to join. You get the free chat. You get the current events channel, and we're in there all day hanging out. But we have more channels and the voice channel where you're not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. You don't even have to cam up, but that is the after party, and we are headed there right after this. Thank you so much. And then, yep, what is a woman, Taylor? What is a woman? Well, I mean, it's something that sounds like a woman. All right, let's see.
Pictures I post on my Twitter.
Did you, when you had sex ed in school, did you not get books with graphic
with
imagery?
pictures of gay sex?
Shout out to Jules who just joined the server.
I don't remember how old you are, but I grew up in the 90s when HIV and AIDS was a big thing, and we certainly learned about gay sex in school.
So those pictures I post on my Twitter, you had graphics like that?
I actually don't know. I don't remember, to be honest. But
I missed that part before. She's like, yeah, we definitely have that. It's like, oh, so you had pictures like this? Oh, I don't remember.
What?
Then how did you say that you just had pictures like that? Shout out to Giorgio Quattrocento. Welcome to the party. So damn, I just happened to be searching this. I was looking for the small snippet where Taylor says porn is okay. I'm an expert says so. Welcome to the party. We already saw this part, but I want to make sure everybody got a peek of it. So welcome. Perfect timing from you. Hey, from Mike Harlow. Shout out to Harlow. Very, very, very much appreciate Mike Harlow. At first, I forgot I was wearing you a leftist and some more to this. Hell nah. Oh, hell nah. Yeah, no, it was exactly. But let's listen to Taylor lie some more.
I do think that it's really important to.
But knowing those pictures, you seem to know very well what those pictures are. Do you think that?
I don't. I've seen.
Oh, you kept referencing it.
Well, I've seen you post things,
then
but I
should
don't
pull
know.
it out.
But I think, yeah, I guess
And again, obviously, I can't show the actual pictures.
I feel
because we need to put this into context.
But again, I did screenshot it and put it in the free chat. So if you join the Taylor, I don't know, Lorenz. If you join the Discord, you can see exactly what I'm about to block out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
So we could give kids like
supports because we don't know the context of how those things are being taught.
We do. You don't.
Oh, so we could give kids like pictures of gay sex as long as it's in the proper context?
I don't know. I mean, it's up to the educator to determine, right? I don't.
It's up to the educator
I
to
guess I'm
determine.
kind of curious.
It's not up to the parent. It's not up to the parent. It's up to the educator.
Kaya, why you sort of focus so much about the LGBT? You keep mentioning gay sex, but you don't mention straight sex. Why is there such a focus on the LGBTQ world?
Oh, I don't want pictures of sex in school. Any pictures.
So you don't think children should receive any sort of sexual education, straight or gay?
I said I don't want pictures of sex in school.
But
Good call on Wonderful.
you think that they should receive picture-free sex education?
No, I think we discussed this earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious kind of how you're thinking.
All right, here we
when
go.
you think about the way that you put out content and the way that you think about growing your media empire.
Here, this is a blowjob.
I don't know what book this is from.
Genderqueer.
Okay.
So should this picture of a blowjob be in elementary school?
And again, I screenshotted that and put it in the Discord free chat. Obviously, I cannot show it here, but it is as gross as you think it is.
I've never seen a book like that in elementary.
I've never seen a book like that in elementary schools. Wonder why. And is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
But I have no idea.
It has been. I
Okay.
posted about it, yeah.
So tell me a little bit
So
about.
should it be in elementary schools?
I have no idea the context. I have no idea.
So
the
in what
context
context is it okay if it would be in
I
elementary
have
schools?
absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I would not. I don't know, Kaya, because I haven't seen the rest of that book. I don't know what's in there. I don't know the context.
But there is a context.
Where is it? Oh, shit. Remember earlier when she asked, how many of the books did you read? The ones that you want to ban. She don't want to ban shit. How many did you read? Oh, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about because you've never cracked any of these books? Come on. Taylor was really hoping they left the teenage sex scene from It in It Chapter 2. Ugh. Good that blowjob line slays me every time. It's like Alexa saying to you. I can't even read it from what it is. So I'm happy with that. But all right, so let's just play the rest of this little exchange out before she changes the subject.
That it would be okay to.
I have absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I would not. I don't know, Kaya, because I haven't seen the rest of that book. I don't know what's in there. I don't know the context.
But there is a context that it would be okay to give kids pictures like that of gay sex, anal sex in elementary school.
I guess sex pictures in school. I don't know because you know who I would defer to on that. Just because neither of us are sex educators, I would defer that question to a qualified professional, a sex educator, and say, hey, you're an expert. You've treated tons, you've educated tons of people. You're a full-time sex educator. You've really studied this. What are the appropriate boundaries? I don't think that myself as a journalist or a media personality, I don't think I'm the right one to make that decision.
So if a sex educator says that it's okay, she's okay with it. This is who is writing the news. The news. And not some little the Washington Post.
I think that myself as a journalist or a media personality, I don't think I'm the right one to make that decision. And I guess I'm wondering why
I have seen sex educators say that they want these books in schools.
That's the problem. Welcome to the conversation, Taylor.
So then you're okay with it?
I think I would want to talk to the sex educator and rely on whatever the sex educators say.
So whatever the sex educator, we've already established that the sex educators want to show this shit to your children. It just cannot get any fucking worse. Can't spell news without ew. Yeah, I mean, just complete dependence on authority. That is very anti-journalism. Not anymore. It used to be, but that is journalism. That is what it is. Somebody said, yeah, the sexperts. Somebody said a thing that other people said that they are in charge, therefore they are right. That is the line of thinking. Taylor's out there judging up a storm, but when it comes to this, the dog is indeed very hungry. Last chance to feed him. But I'm very glad that I got to show, got to experience this with you guys, because I did, like I say, I always skip through stuff to make sure that we are going to have something good to watch. But I like to come in as fresh as I can so that I can experience it with you guys. And this has just been a chef's kiss in terms of the demonstration of the underhandedness and the lack of understanding, the lack of self-awareness that plagues the left and just society in general. And it's only going to get worse unless people like us stand up, come together, and do something. And shout out to you guys for being here, doing your part. Just being here. What, you want to come up here for the last minute? Yeah, there you go. There we go. There we go. Just come in here, being part of the conversation. Get it? I mean, I'm willing. I'm willing to put my face out there so you guys don't have to. I'm willing to say the things that you guys are thinking so you don't have to. But I can't do it alone. I need your guys' help. So thank you to every single one of you. I really, 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 really do appreciate the fact that you're here. And of course, those of you who are opening your wallets and supporting the show with your money. That's the only way we can do this. That's the only way we can do this. So let's shout out Zippy the Strange. Thank you so much. And of course, our sponsor of the stream, Unwanted Foe, with not one but two super chats. Thank you so much. And of course, our comment of the night, the machinations of the feminist mind is an enigma. I mean, again, guys, I think this was such an important thing to see that, like, it's so obvious. It's so obvious when we watch this video. Oh, that's the last thing I wanted to do. I want to read some comments. So let's read some of these comments.
Okay.
I'm wondering why.
Okay, 5,500 comments. The petulance. It's really like speaking to a spoiled child. Okay, not sure who that's aimed at, but again, we are on Taylor's page. Let's see what the. You mean Taylor Lorenz? There's nothing going on in in Chaya's brain. Oh, mind telling us why she's being interviewed in the first place? This is the most uncomfortably passive-aggressive conversation I've ever seen. I never said I wanted to eradicate gender ideology. Later on says I want to eradicate gender ideology. It's like watching an adult talk with a teenager who got caught lying and is enraged at being caught. And again, I believe this is aimed at at Chaya. Yeah, Chaya looks like a teenager trying to articulate a point and failing. And that shirt, pathetic. The shirt is Taylor's face. It's Taylor's face. How do you get there? How do you get there? The blank stare when she realizes people who don't just use the internet to grift money. Again, who is this aimed at? Who is this aimed at?
How, I noticed you sort of, speaking of the media, you've changed your approach recently, or at least it seems like you're being a little bit more antagonistic towards the media and a little bit more forceful in the way that you speak about the media. What led to that change?
So that's what she was talking about, or that's what the comment was talking about. The blank stare when she realizes there are people who don't just use the internet to grift money. Oh, gotcha. She's like, well, why were you? Yeah. And so, like, point being, there's a lot of people. Yeah, Chaya, when you're talking about the great replacement, who the fuck is they? The people who are not Americans. It's not a hard question. The moment she realized she'd painted herself into a corner of having no reason to like gender affirming care if she doesn't acknowledge gender was beautiful. It's so obvious. She knows it's purely blind hate for profit. And you can literally see her work through the calculus of how to make what she's allowed to say fit within the narrative. Projection. So we've got work to do, guys. We've got work to do. And like I say, I will be here. I'm not going to be perfect, but every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be here. But I can't do it alone. So thank you for those of you who showed up, and a big, big thank you to those of you who sponsored the stream. There is no way to do this without you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Once again, this down here is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Don't forget to join the after party. Until then, I am out of here. Peace.